A very warm good morning to one and all present here in 5 days FDP program on recent advancement, innovations, future trends in emerging technologies and their impact on higher education. Today, we have with us our esteemed guest, Dr. Alok Srivastava, LV Prasad Eye Institute, Hyderabad. Knowledge is the key to success in life. And so for gaining the knowledge, we are going to listen on the topic Data Science in Digital Era, Exploring Opportunities and Challenges. Dr. Alok Srivastava is a passionate learner, educator, problem solver, storyteller with over 12 years of experience at the intersection of education, training, research, and technology in an interdisciplinary domain. With a doctorate in computational biology from School of Computational and Integrative Sciences, JNU, he possesses a deep understanding of healthcare and computational biology problems and leverage AI, ML, and data science to solve them. As a principal investigator of multiple projects funded by various funding bodies, Sir has honed many skills in project planning and education. Currently, he is involved in formulating data-driven policies and leading data science, AI, and ML initiatives in the field of ophthalmology and at LV Prasad Eye Institute, Hyderabad, India. Additionally, he is engaged in a system-level exploration of diseases such as Alzheimer's, breast cancers, and type 2 diabetes, utilizing various data science and data modeling techniques. Throughout Sir's career, Sir has developed several applications, including Mycobacterium tuberculosis, genome divergence database, gene ontology-based prediction and analysis of microarrays suite, ontology visualization tool, a gold standard dataset for Alzheimer's genes, and a benchmark dataset for breast cancer-associated genes. In terms of teaching, training, and workshops, Sir has conducted 26 workshops on a wide range of topics such as Introduction to R, Basics of Data Mining, Data Analytics, Business Analytics, Introduction to Data Science, Natural Language Processing, Network Sciences, and their applications. These workshops have reached approximately more than 2,000 participants, including MSc, MTech, PhD students, engineers, software professionals, scientists, and faculties from various fields. Sir had the opportunity to teach at prestigious institutions, including the University of Hyderabad, Jawaharlal Nehru Institute, and Amity University, Gurgaon. Furthermore, Sir has secured funding for 4 research projects as the principal investigator from esteemed funding bodies such as the Department of Biotechnology, Department of Science and Technology, and the Indian Council of Medical Research. These projects encompass diverse areas including text mining, NLP, machine learning, artificial intelligence, sentiment analysis, and system-level modeling of biological system in disease like diabetes and breast cancers. His current focus area includes data science, data analytics, data strategy, machine learning, deep learning, business intelligence, statistical analysis, predictive modeling, natural language processing, R, SQL, TensorFlow, ontology exploration, network analysis, multi-level modeling, database development, and web application development. With these words, I would like to call upon Dr. Alok Srivastava for today's first session of the FDP. Sir, over to you, please.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Khushbu, for this nice introduction. So I'm pleased to give a talk in Amity, where I have spent almost 5 years, and I was also involved in running that MSc Data Science program in the university. So it is really a good chance for me to give a talk in the same institute. So today I'm going to talk about the data science in the digital era, exploring opportunities and challenges. So all of you must have heard that data science in the past few years, that this terms has been in the market in so many ways and so many times in different contexts. So with this, I'll start my talk that over the past many years that people are believing in different giving importance to the data in so many sense, and so that people are also mentioning that data is the new oil in the current era. It is the new oil in the digital economy. So as we all know that in India is approaching towards the 4 trillion economy, that in April that our finance minister has announced. So this term has been coined, this phrase has been given by Clive Humvee in 2006, which is a UK mathematician. He mentioned that data is the new oil. So he mentioned this term as a oil, as oil is a valuable asset. Okay, and then he compared this oil with the data. It is valuable, but the problem is it is unrefined, so that it cannot be really be used, and it has to be changed into the valuable products such as gas, plastic, chemical, and other products. It is to create the valuable entities that drive profitable activities. And similarly, that your data should also be refined in the proper way, because all the data which is collected in the raw form is cannot be directly usable. You have to perform several exercises, clean the data, tune the data, scale the data, normalize the data, apply the lot of data engineering aspect, so that it can be broke down further and analyzed into into to have the real value that what is hidden in the data. There are so many quotes about this. There's so many statements about that data is the new oil. But I have just mentioned two of them. One is that Clive Hambe. Other is that Piero Scorpi, who was given in 2016. He was a cognitive scientist, and he mentioned that the difference between the oil and the data is that the product of the oil does not generate more oils. But in case of the data, there is a chance that whenever you are taking the data and you're doing some processing, data itself will generate a lot of data. So for example, in case you are using self-driving cars, drones, wearable devices, these are the few examples that he mentioned in his code. Say these all devices generate more data. So where do you normally drive, how fast you are driving, uh, how well you drive, and whom with you are driving, and etc. These are the contexts related to these activities. But then all of you know that it's not only these examples where the data is generated. Data is generated almost everything. We are on an average in today's world that all the person is spending around almost 7 to 8 hours in screen time, other than your computer, if you are using that computer for your work purpose. And so that every time using the screen time, you are producing some sort of data, whether you are spending your energy in the social media or email or chat or WhatsApp or Instagram or wherever, or watching YouTube video or reel. So that means it's all data has been generated, and then all this data will produce the secondary data, which will be helpful for the provider to get the more insight about these data. Okay, so now the next question, that important question that comes is, all of you are aware that the flood of big data is coming. If you'll see this picture, this is a pictorial diagram just to give you the idea that in year 2021, that all data that has been collected is around 79 zettabytes. So zettabyte is 10 raised to power 21, and which is projected that by 2025, this amount of data will be increased to 181 zettabyte. And as I mentioned earlier, there are various sources that the data is being produced, whether you are doing emailing, whether you are doing tweeting or text, or watching videos or passing message, or using the social media platform. All these things are just producing a huge amount of data. And since the data is there, so there is a lot of chance to work on these data, to use some aspect of the data science to get more meaningful insights from the data, and get that to capture that market value and business problem from those things. Okay, so every day on an average, we are creating around 2.5 quintillion, that is bytes of data. So although this picture is quite old, it is not the recent one, which is mentioning that 90% of the world data today has been created in the last 2 years alone. But I found it is relevant in the today's context also, because if you draw the plot of that how data is growing, it is exponentially increasing. And it is, since it is exponentially increasing, so every 2 years the trend remains, it's 90%. It is mentioned it could be 92, 93 or something like that. But every 2 years in the last duration, it is producing more data than it is generated in the previous year. Okay. So a few of the data science related search that I did, recently I did just when I was just framing this presentation, I did search on the data science courses in India, and I found this search I did in Google. I found that there are 2.07 into 10 raised to power 9. That's a billion pages are there which are talking about data science courses in India in some of the other contexts. Okay. Similarly, I searched data science companies in India. I found 1.12 into 10 raised to power 9. Data science jobs in India, 8 into 10 raised to power 8. Data science salaries in India, 3 into 10 raised to power 7. Data science projects in India, 5.5 into 10 raised to power 8. So it is not that exactly that all these pages are telling about that courses, companies, and job, but there are this many links which are there in the Google. If you type this context, this phrase in Google, you'll find that this many links are there. It could be your video, it could be your tweet, it could be your message, it could be your web page, it could be whatever the sources are available, PDFs and all the research articles, and many more things are there. So this will give you the clear idea that where data science is going in the today's world. So this many people have done some sort of engagement with these phrases that I have mentioned here. And then all these phrases tell you directly that demand of the market. Okay, so that what is the demand in terms of your company's job, salaries, projects, course, and many more searches you can do. You can refine your search to get the current idea in the current scenario. Okay. So this is another that picture that I took from that Google Trends. So what Google Trends show you the trend of a particular keyword, technology, and whatever you education and courses and all, whatever you want to see, that over the past few years, how this trend is continuing. So this by default, they give the data from 2004 to and then after that. So I took that picture to get a snapshot of the January 2010, and after that how this trend is going over the period of time. So probably you will not get the clear idea, but then last on the extreme left side is January 2010, and January 2014 is mentioned here. But there is one point in between. Then, since it is a very huge data set, that's why you are not able to get the direct fluctuation that where the change is happening. But what is happening in this graph? In this graph, after October 2012, that this trend has started increasing towards a increasing trend side. And then the top graph is also showing that the same picture, that after October, where I have mentioned node, it is continuously started increasing and it is reaching to its maximum popularity, which is there in the today's time. So what happened in October 2012? So October 2012, that Thomas H. Davenport and DJ Patil, they have written an article on Harvard Business Review, which mention the data scientist, the sexiest job of the 21st century. So in this article, the first time, it's not the first time that people have used the term data science, but it is the first time they explain the terms in detail, that what is the market need of a data science, which could make a job a sexiest job, where he can, this job can offer a lucrative career, and its job needs a lot of understanding of the different types of technology, different types of tools, so that a holistic view of a system can understand by a scientist. So they define that article. That article is written very nicely. You can go through this article. You can go through, it's an open access article. You can read this article. And then from there, that people have got the attention of the term data science as a whole. So obviously, all of you must have spent some time in understanding that what is data science, what other people are doing. Even your department is offering the course of data science, and other people, and even the market scenario you are getting about these things. But then there at the 2012, when they first defined this term, after that, a lot of people started getting attention, because this article has been published from Harvard Business Review, and that then people have started talking about these terms. And then after spending 10 years of time, in July 2012, again they write a continued article of the extension of the previous one, that is data scientist is still the sexiest job of the 21st century, where they also discuss about that lot of things, that what happened in the past 10 years, where the current data science jobs is going on, what is the current expertise, what is the lack things which is there in the period, and what is the expertise needed at this point of time, and what is the further extension, that where this will go further. So both of these are very interesting articles. First one is that from where people have started talking about this term, you can go through, and then second one is the continuation. So now, the important question comes is, all of you have some sort of idea that from the where the data is coming, right? And but if you'll see actually in detail, so the digital world around us is, this is the graph of April 2023, where the total world population is 8.03 billion, where 57.2% is urban population, while among this population, that 5.48 billion population is using mobile, our mobile subscriber, that is the 68.3% of the world population. And among these, that there are 5.18 billion percentage of the billion people, which are around 64.6%, which are using the internet. And rest of them, they have phone, normal phone, just to do the normal calling and all those things. And then among these, that 4.80 billion people, which is the 59.9% of the world population, is using the social media, that user identities and all. And then so that you can get the idea that how this world is connected with each other, and then all together they are producing the different sort of data. And then once you get the data, then data science comes in play, and then a lot of things can be done with those things. So now exactly the next question is that what exactly these people are doing when they are well connected with, and then they are using internet, they are in the social media. So actually they are using social media to produce the data. They are generating voices, they are generating audio messages, video messages, they are producing internet web pages, writing the content, writing the different applications on the web. They are exchanging mails with each other, and they are producing relational databases. Those people who are working in the large amount of data and creating that databases, they are producing the relational databases. Now the next thing is, you all know that all of you are engaged in in all these kinds of applications. So the mail application that the dominant in the market is Gmail and Outlook. Then browser is Google and Bing, and then that Internet Explorer is your Chrome, Edge, and Safari. Then there are e-commerce companies in which Amazon, Alibaba, Flipkart, and then video streaming services, Netflix, YouTube, Prime Video, then social media platform, Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Instagram, and other. And then map aggregator, this is the cab aggregator, these are Ola and Uber. And then you people are must not be, it is not necessary that you are familiar with the IBM Watson, but they have created that IBM Watson a engine that can help you to sort out your day-to-day problem in healthcare sector, in finance sector, in other agricultural sector and all. So these are the intelligent applications, and then we are investing a lot of time in these. It's not we are investing time, we are giving our data to them. They are using this data to get more insight, to get to study our behavior, social behavior, financial behavior, economic behavior, and then the trend of the market, and to offer that many more product personalized marketing. They are doing personalized marketing, they are offering you personalized offering and all. So all these things, whatever you do on these platform, that will help them to understand the behavior of you as an individual, behavior of ourselves as a society, and then get more insight about those things, to give more insight, more valuable things, and plan more business strategy. Then we all are familiar with that iPhone Siri application, which is launched in October 2011. These all are voice-based assistant system, and you have Microsoft Cortana, you have Amazon Alexa, you have Google Assistants, and you have the Samsung's Bixby. So all these are applications which are there. I'll show you one demonstration to you so that you can get the idea that how these applications are working in today's.
Hey Google, book a table for two at El Cocotero on Tuesday at 7.
All right, just in case that's not available, can I try between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m.?
Sure.
All right, I'll call to book under your name and phone number, and I'll update you in the next 15 minutes. Is that okay?
Perfect, thanks.
El Cocotero, how may I help you? Hi, I'm the Google Assistant calling to make a reservation for a client. This automated call will be recorded. Can I book a table for Tuesday the 12th?
Okay, cool. And how big is the party?
It's for 2 people.
Great. And when did you say they want to come in?
Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Okay, let me check.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have 7, but we can do 8.
Yeah, 8 p.m. is fine.
Perfect. And can I get their name?
First name is Anna.
Okay, we'll see you on a Tuesday. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks a lot.
Anna for 2.
Right this way.
So among the various applications that you know about this voice-based assistant system, this is the example of Google Assistant where that assistant has booked the table. So you can get the idea that how it is connected, this program is well defined, so it can interact with a human and do the needful that whatever is required. Okay, this is one of the example. Then in the today's world that there are a lot of talk about the AI-based assistant system. So all of you must have learn about that Chat GPT and Bard that what, and then you must have used also in some of the other cells. And then there are a lot of hundreds of tools, AI-based tools are coming in the past few months, which are creating images, which are creating videos, which are creating reels. Maybe even you can give the text and they can create the pictures for you, they can create the video for you, and then these AI-based tools also help you to review the literature, write the content, and making the presentations and writing codes also. So obviously it's not a very complex code, but even if the small part of the code, they are very good in doing those things. So and hundreds of tools are coming on a daily basis, and doing some wonder, and these are just helping all of you. And what they are doing, they are just training all the system with the data that they have and just creating more and more and more and more new systems which are helping. Okay, now the next question that comes is that how much data is being generated every minute. So generally that if we have not seen such slide or we have not encountered anything like this, we did not get the much idea that how much data is worldwide is generating every minute in almost 60 seconds. So then this picture, so this is that data never sleeps. So this is the tagline. And for the past continuous 10 years, they are continuously updating that every year what are the new changes that is happening, all the incredible thing that happen almost in every 60 seconds. So if you can see this picture, you can get the idea that Facebook Facebook users share almost 1.7 million piece of content. Then Twitter shares that 347,000 tweets on 1 minute. Instagram users share almost around 66K photos. Snapchat 2.4 million snaps they are using user send. Then Tinder user are uses swipes 1.1 million times. YouTube uses that 500 hours of the video that in 1 minute. And Zoom people spend 104.6 hours spent in the Zoom meeting. And then there are many streaming for services. Amazon shops are spend around $443,000 in shopping. Vnemo user sends that $437,000 currency. And there is crypto email. If you see that there are 231.4 million messages that have been transferred in a 1 minute time. So you can get that how much big it is that in 1 minute time, how much data is generated. This will give you that how complex this structure is. And if you see that this is the past 10-year comparison of the data never sleeps content. So in 2000, they have compared just few of them. So Google user query from 2013, which was 2 million, it has raised up to 5.9 million in 2022. Where YouTube that initially that 48 hours of videos have been uploaded in 2013, which has been raised to 500 hours content, which has been uploaded in 2022. Then Instagram 2013, that 3.6K to 66K, it has been increased. Twitter, it is increased from 100K to 347K. And Facebook, the content shared is from 684K to 1.7 million K. And email, if you see, there is not much difference in the email in the past 10 years. In 2013, it was 204 million, while in 2020, it is 231 million. It's the obvious reason is because there are many application, WhatsApp and Telegram and other application came. So just because of these things, that normal texting and all those things that came out from this mail content, and mail is only used for the detailed content which is there. So that's why there is not a much shift in the mail, but then there is a huge shift in the all other activities and all the other. So if you get the idea, that glimpse of that, what is that size of that universe and data universe, especially if you see that kilobyte is 10 raised to power 3, megabyte is 10 raised to power 6, gigabyte is 10 raised to power 9, and terabyte is that 500 terabyte 10 raised to power 12. You can get the idea that 500 terabyte of new data per day ingested in the Facebook databases, and around petabyte is 10 to the power 15, which will give you the idea that some large hadron collider, which happens, it generates almost 1 petabyte of data per second. Then exabyte, that is 1 EB, is data is generated on the internet every day. Then next scale is zettabyte, which says that 1.3 zettabyte of network traffic was there in the 2016. And next scale is yottabyte, which is the digital universe today, that it assumes that US government has the data on the people of the scale of yottabyte. And the brontobyte, which is 10 raised to power 27, it is assumed that our digital universe tomorrow will be of the brontobyte scale. And a lot of information and data which is generated from the IoT and sensors, and this will be the scale of the brontobyte. Okay. So in the digital universe, we will talk about that data sets are being produced at an exponential rate, and we have generated most of the 90% of the data in the last few years. There is in the data which is generated, there is only 10% of the data which is unique, and 90% of the data is replicated in the global data sphere with statistics here. They have mentioned, and more than 65 billion messages are being exchanged daily by WhatsApp. This app connects more than 1 billion group and user complete over 55 million video calls daily. So mybasis.com has did this survey, and they found this same thing. And while Kio.com has done the survey, found that 80 to 90% of the data that internet users generate daily, which is unstructured. So those who have the idea of the data is generally classified into 3 forms, that is structure, unstructured, and semi-structured. So structure that you can store in your MySQL table, unstructured which you cannot store, which is unplanned structure of the data. It cannot be directly stored in the table. There is no proper blocks which is defined in the data. And the semi-structured data is that partial part of the data you can store in database, while the other part of the data cannot be stored properly in the table. So that shows that almost around 80 to 90% of the data is unstructured form. If you see that volume of data created, captured, and copied and consumed worldwide, so we have seen here that by 2025, we are expecting that this data size will increase to 181 zettabyte. Okay. And if you see that during the period of Corona, there is a sudden sharp increase in the number of this amount of data generated. It is because that everybody started work from home, and then they started using more and more devices. Okay, and the next is the size of the business intelligence and analytics software application market, which is forecasted to show that market will grow to the $17.6 billion in 2024. The another aspect that analytics as a service market size will increase to $101 billion. And if you see that number of data center that worldwide that people have, so US has the most number of data center, which is 2,670, then followed by UK and Germany and China, and India is at the 14th position, which has 123 data center. So this is all about our digital universe, that what we have in the current time. So now we got enough idea about the data, so we can say that this is the big data. So there is a proper discussion that how to define the big data. So there are various various discussion that is going on that, okay, people have different definition to define the big data. But initially that idea came that with 3 V's, they will define the big data. It's not only that volume of the data, but they initially defined 3 V's, but later on that 3 V has been extended into 6 V's and 6 V's to 9 V's and 12 V's. And then even in some places, people have talked about more than that also. But broadly, that these are the categories that defined actually that what is your big data. That first one is that volume of the data, that amount of the data merit from merit sources, that from the different sources that it is coming to you. Then variety of your data, the type of data, whether it is a structure, unstructured or semi-structured. Then the third component is the velocity, that speed with which the data is ingested into the system. And then the fourth one is veracity. So veracity tells you the degree of which the big data can be trusted. And then the fifth one is the value, that whatever the data you have collected, how much value you have in your data, the business value of the data collected, and the variability, the ways in which the big data can be used and formatted. So altogether, these components will define that about the different properties of the big data and your properties of the big data itself. So now you already get that big data. So you got the enough idea about data, big data and all. So now the question is next, that got it. Now what we need to do after that? So obviously, once we get the data, the next important thing is that data-driven decision making we need to do. And then there are various components involved in your data science exercises. And then, so just for your clarity, that I have put that one definition of the data science. So data science is an interdisciplinary field. It's about the processing and system to extract insight from the data in various forms, which is either structure, unstructured, or semi-structured. And the left side, the graph can show you about the idea that what are the skill set that is needed for your data science. It's not, it is mathematics, pattern recognition, data mining, machine learning, AI, neural networks, data visualization, hypothesis testing, data modeling, big data solution and engineering, EDA, and modeling and perspective analytics and statistics. So these are the skill set which is needed. So it's not that you have to do the masters or do the masters in all of them, but you should have the some sort of knowledge to understand that, or to design or to work on this particular system, that how the system works in. And then that the expertise that is required is you need to require the domain expertise. You need to require the business analysis skill. You need a stakeholder management. You should have the storytelling ability so that you can tell the end product of your data exercise, data science exercise. You should be able to communicate with the business and to the audience and to the market. You should be able to know the consulting ability, and you should have the problem solving ability and topical analysis techniques and all. And these are the skill set together. So all these qualities should be in the data scientist. It's not that you should be expertise in each and everything, but then you should have some sort of idea about all these things. And those who are doing a regular courses, I'm very sure that different whatever the content I have written here, all these contents must be there in their curriculum, which they must have studying in their course. So this definition is quite interesting definition, which I put on the right hand side. A data scientist is someone who has interdisciplinary knowledge and skills. This is already I discussed in the last slide. But the second one is interesting. A data scientist is someone who is better in statistics than a software engineer, and a better software engineer than a statistician. Okay, so that's why you can get the idea. That's why I told you it's not that you need to be expertise in each and everything, but you should have some sense, some knowledge about that, how these things are working, how to work on these particular system and all. And data science is here to stay. This is on the left side. I just put a picture to give you the glimpse of the idea that what are the different skill set you need. If you go for the subject wise, this you can get easily. There are a lot of articles has been written on these things. You can easily get all these things on the internet. Then, there is a general misconception about the data scientist when we conduct the interview about the job profile and all. So generally what we feel that people does one programming language, either R or Python, and they do some sort of machine learning exercise. And mostly that exercise that those people have practiced, they have done from Kaggle or GitHub. So when you use these as a reference for your study, what thing you will get the clean data, clean exercise, even the codes on those exercise. And once you run those copy code after 3 days or 4 days, you will realize that everything that you have done. Okay, but the problem is it will be difficult for you to understand the complexity to tune your algorithm, why somebody has written that those optimal parameter, why somebody has written that those piece of code, that is difficult. So mostly what I feel that people, and even I found that they have some professional degree, some BTech or master's course, and they spend some time in learning Python, R, and machine learning and some database exercise, and they feel that they are quite comfortable that they can do any data science job, which is practically it is difficult in some sense, because real world scenario is totally different in comparison to that what environment you got in your training. So people believe that data science is actually not a computer science, not a statistics or not mathematics. It is not about your learning R, Python, and Julia. It is also not learning about SQL, NoSQL, MongoDB, and MariaDB. It is not about learning the visualization tool just like Tableau, Power BI, or ggplot. It is not about the learning the big data tools like Hadoop and Spark. And it is also not about that tools like TensorFlow, PyTorch, MixNet, Caffe, Theano, OpenCV, Keras, and Scikit-learn. So it is not that, as I showed you in the previous slides also, that you need to get idea about all these things at the very beginning level. It is not needed. You will not get the job where you need to do or perform all the activity. But in case you're looking at future prospect and you are working in the domain of data science, you should have some sort of idea about those things, and later on in which domain you want to work on, those things you can decide. So one misconception that comes is that whether it is only for computer science, mathematician, or statistician. So answer is clearly no, because this is one of that survey result that I took. I'd say 1.5 year back I took this. No, it's more than 2 years. Yeah, I took this picture where it shows that almost 20% of the job market there are computer scientists, 19% mathematician and statistician, and then 90% are people from economic and social science, 13% are from pure data science and analysis background, 11% from natural sciences, physics, chemistry, and biology, 9% from engineering, and 9% from other domains. So this gives the idea that this is the data science is that it's not a domain specifically for some particular stream. But since the data is generated in all the streams, so there is a requirement in all the stream for the specialized people to work on it. And this is another example that this is Chris Wiggins. Chris Wiggins is appointed as a chief data scientist in the New York Times. And the article also they published why the New York Times needed a biology researcher as the chief data scientist. So they personally believe that biologists are actually is analyzing that lot of different variety of the data. So actually they know they have very diverse kind of experience in handling the different kind of data. And that's why that Chris Wiggins got that this highest position of the chief data scientist in this company. So he's not computer scientist, he's not mathematician. He was a biologist, computation biologist who was doing all this kind of analysis. Then, as in the beginning, in my introduction, that Dr. Khushbu has told that I trained around 2,000 students. So I have also trained the students from different streams ranging from biology, mathematics, statistics, economics, and finance and all. And my students are working in the different company that ranging from Accenture, IBM, TCS, HSBC, PNB, Deloitte, Novartis, IMRB International, Synchrony Financial, Clotrix Solution, Multiplier Solution, Math Company, Fidelity International, and EY. So these are the list of the few of the students whom I have the data and I put that. So that's why the students are also from diverse background. They are not from pure computation background, pure computer science, and they got job in few of these reputed companies. So you can get the idea that This is not, data science is not specifically for one stream. Now, the next question that comes, important question is, what does data scientist do? So if you see this picture, you can get the idea that the first thing that they do is understanding the business problem. Okay. So understanding whenever you have the data in the real world scenario, wherever you are getting the data, whether you are getting the data from healthcare sector or e-commerce sector or social media sector or your retailer sector or wherever, the first thing is you should understand that what is the business problem you can frame with this data. And then the second aspect is collecting and understanding the required and available data. So as I told, that real world scenario is totally different from that what we learn in your Kaggle and GitHub. Real world scenario, you will never get the clean data. You will get the data which is very dirty. You have to perform a lot of exercise. You have to spend a lot of energy to make that data clean and properly in usable format. So that you should understand that what kind of data is there in your system and how you can process that data, how you can store that data to get that more meaningful insight. And then the second thing is whether if your company requirement or your research requirement is whether you want the on-the-fly data or you can do the data in one stretch, you can do the analysis and keep it as a store in some archives library. So accordingly, you will design the prototype. You have to see that, understand that how your system is generating data and how to use this data in usable form. The third important thing is the manipulating the data and turning into the usable format, which I explained in the point second also. So once you get the idea about these things, then you have to just convert it into the usable format. That depends on the requirement of your company, whether you want the on-the-fly data analysis or you want the data analysis in one stretch. So accordingly, you can design the strategy. The fourth step is designing and the analysis matrix that we are looking that what. So according to the need, that what are the questions we are asking, what are the questions we are answering in our exercise, then we can design our analysis matrix. And then we can process the data to find out those things. And the fifth one is just the most optimal algorithm to analyze the data. So if you have gone through the various subjects of machine learning and AI and data analytics and business analytics, you find that there are many algorithms that can perform the similar kind of task, at the same time kind of task that you want to do. But it's not the question that for each and every problem, you have to apply all the algorithm. Now, the important question comes in, you should have the idea that which particular algorithm you will use to solve which kind of problem. So if you go through the Kaggle route or application web route or something, you will find that, okay, I want to do somebody has done the breast cancer classification in the Kaggle, or I need to do the heart classification problem. I use the same algorithm, it should work in the same way. So he has reported with the very clean data with the accuracy around 92%. When you will apply in the real data set that what you have to get from the hospital without doing this exercise, that which algorithm will best fit in this model, in this data, you will get some 70 to 80% of accuracy or maybe less than that also. So that's why that it's a real problem is always challenging. That depends on your problem, your data, the things, the features, how you are using it, which features you are using, and there are many more exercise you need to do. Then the next step is modeling and algorithm and evaluating the result. So in case you have multiple algorithms, you can compare those algorithms to evaluate the result, which is the best fit result, which best fit model for your exercise, then you can use to generate the result. And then the seventh point is that generating the insight. So once you have cleaned the data, you have processed the exercise, you have made the model, you have generated the result. The next thing is you have to give the insights. What are the hidden insights in your data? What are the insights in your data? Okay, and this will obviously that once you frame this answer, this question, that will with your business storytelling ability will help to find out the stories from the data and all. That will help you tell that, okay, these are the insights in my data and all. And then the last step is recommending to the next step to address the insight. So altogether, this is a broader view that what your data scientists do in general. And when you'll go into the detail, you'll find that there is further split of each of the category to find out the detailed work that what you need to do it here. Okay. So now another important question is October 2012 that Thomas Davenport has wrote the article that it is the sexiest job of the 21st century. So now the another important question comes on why it is the most sexiest job. So data science in the current market. So now I'll discuss the new trend that is the need of our hours. So in India, if you'll see that already that Fortune 88 companies which are already established in India has already brought into the data science flight. And this word cloud just gives you the name of the company. Those are the companies which have invested huge in that data science market, and they are working some or some other sort of activities in. So that all the big companies are there. That this is just pictorial representation of word cloud, so that you can get the idea. Okay, so another important thing is that some of the market research that we did. So Statista did one study. They found that by 2025, it is estimated that a big data analytics market will reach over that 68 billion by 2025. And globalswire.com, they have done one survey and mentioned that the healthcare big data analytics market could reach $68.82 billion by 2025. Hindu has published this is quite old article, not the recent one. This slide is old, and they have mentioned a long time the back that analytics firm in India will soon face a shortage of 2 lakh data scientists. So actually, these trends on keep changing. That after coming the Chat GPT and OpenAI and all these tools, that market's trend has been changed a little bit. So although there are still the requirement in the market, and it's not only the requirement, it's a huge requirement, but the way they are looking for the new data scientist or the experienced data scientist has changed. Okay, and the Glassdoor has done one survey, and it is also that it's not recent one, it is the old one. That Shell, it's a energy and innovation company, was offering 33 lakhs per annum, while the Ola is offering 30 lakhs per annum. And while this varies up to the range of 76 lakhs per annum, that is for experienced data scientists. That the salary that they are getting, even in the today's time, that people are offering that more than a 1 CR package also to that experienced data scientist. Okay. Now this is another one small. This article is published in 2021 Times of India, New Delhi, and it is saying that India has the most data scientists on Kaggle, which you can see from this picture to 2021. And obviously that since the demand in our country is huge and people are aware of this fact, and there are more and more people who are actively participating on Kaggle. It's around 21.8% people are actively participating at the time of February 2021. Then the second one is US, others, Brazil, and UK. Okay. So we have talked about the various aspects of the data science. Now, if you see the market scenario, the data scientist, data science, the subject you are studying in your course curriculum. So it's not only one job profile that data scientists can fit in. There are multiple job profiles which I mentioned here in this slide. So data scientist can go for the role of data scientist. He can go for the role of data engineer, where his job is to engineer the problem to find out that from the data he has to just plan that how he will work on the data, how he'll clean the data, how he'll process the data, and how to get the insight from the data. It's a data engineer job. Then data storyteller, it is that once you have solved that all the problem, you get the insight from the problem. Then you have to communicate to the audience that why this study is important and what we have achieved with our study. If you remember that Sundar Pichai's talk over for that he has given in the podium, that for the diabetic retinopathy or other healthcare initiative, or every year he gives some talks. So that is his, he comes in front of audience to explain that what are the new things, or whether it is Sundar Pichai or it is Steve Jobs or some other top people, they are just at the come and they explain that what incredible things those people are doing. And so this skill set is very important to communicate with the audience, to tell them actually that how much effort you are putting to get and what is the valuable solution you are providing to the society. Then the next is the machine learning engineer. So as the name suggests that You have to build the model, you have to work around the model. Here your focus is not about the data cleaning, data processing and all those things, data collection, data storage. Your job profile is about to create the model and build the engineering modules around that modeling of that experience. Then the database administrator. So wherever you are collecting the data, whether it is in cloud or whether it is in premises data, you have to just create a structure and then administrate those things. And this is another job profile. And then data analyst. So in case you are interested in doing sort of analytics, analytics means it's not only machine learning modeling, is that you are applying the machine learning exercise on the modeling. While the analyst is, you can apply the statistical analysis, mathematical analysis, and optimization problem and other analysis tools. This is the job profile of the analyst. And data architect. So this is another job profile that is important to design that how your data will be ingested into the system. How, whether you are doing the in-premises or you are doing the cloud-based, or whether you are centralized system or decentralized system where you are storing your data. So all these job roles comes in designing that data architect problem. Then machine learning scientist, where you have to define the problem of around that machine learning exercise. Then business intelligence developer, where you need to develop that business model from the data and where your market, where your data will provide you the business insight and has the market value. And last is the specialized role in the technical field. So that may vary from domain to domain in case you are working in e-commerce, healthcare, or sports, or some tourist transport. So that specialized skill, agriculture, whatever it is. So stock market. So that all this varies from domain to domain where you can get into. So these are the different opportunities that a particular data scientist can think of, because overall he will get the opportunities, he will get the coverage of some or different aspect of all these things during their study of the data science sector. Okay. So now the another important thing that comes is the data science challenges. So we have discussed different aspects of the data science things, and that's what we have discussed till now. Now, the important thing that comes is that what are the various data science challenges which are present in the current scenario. I have mentioned few of them. So these top 9 data science challenges which I have mentioned here, the first one is the data acquisition. The second one is data storage, then data processing, data transport and dissemination, data management and curation, data archiving, data security, and workforce with specialized skill, and at the end, the cost of all of the above. So data acquisition, the important question is here, how we'll get the data? It leads to the next 2 challenges, that how we will store the data and how we will process the data. So store the data, again, there are a lot of things come there, whether you want to store it in premises or on premises or cloud or a centralized system or decentralized system. That solution of this problem vary from problem to problem, and the usage of the data and the amount of data is being generated and amount of data is getting back to use in the system. So all these things define that, okay, will help you to define that how to store your data. So challenging, it is very challenging because of many different kind of data that needs to be stored. It is not that you can develop one strategy to store the data in all the form, because you could have text data, you could have structured text data, you could have unstructured text data, you could have videos, you could have images, you could have PDFs. And so all this is mix and match sort of thing. You have some data in structured format, some data in unstructured format, some data in some other semi-structured format. So you have to decide that how you will put all these things and how you will store this data. And the second important thing, how you connect all this data so that you can get the idea that this person has this video and this PDF and this report and this MRI and this something, whatever it is. So that because everything is connected and stored in different server, different applications and all, and then you should connect all these things so that you can get a unique identifier for all of them. So it is very challenging job, and we need so the strategy also you need to develop that. You need long-term strategy, mid-term strategy, and short-term strategy. Okay, so sometimes, so this also depends on that usage of your data. Short-term strategy, like let's say you are doing MRI scanning or you are doing the stock market analysis and all. So initially your point usage point is short-term. Immediately you want to get the insight so that people get immediate outcome. And then later on you can save this data in some archives for the further or research purpose. Few data are on mid-term usage, few data are a long-term usage. So accordingly, you can plan the strategy that what is your data storage strategy will be according to that. The next important question is the data processing. So data processing, because you have already stored the data in different verticals, different servers or different structure. So now the challenges comes is that processing the data, as I told you, because you have collected the data in different format. So you should be able to connect all those data with all those unique identifier, and then you have to process the data so that you can easily connect all these things and get the insight from the data. So it is challenging because you have to decide that whether you need to store the data in memory and process in the memory when you are doing the process, or you have to keep your data in the system and read it in your software or wherever, and then process it and then store the outcome in your some table or some whatever it is. So next important challenge is data transport and dissemination. So it is that once you have stored the data, you have processed the data, the next thing is you have to transport the data. It is a challenging to get the data from the place where it is generated to the place where it is stored and to the place where it is analyzed. And it is very crucial because sometimes you are storing the data in the cloud, generating the data in Gurgaon, storing the data in the cloud, which is in Hyderabad, getting the data to analyze in analysis center, and then you are reverting back, storing the process and clean data in some other server. So that's why you need to understand that data transportation strategy and dissemination strategy. It is challenging to get the data from the place where it is generated to the place where it will be analyzed, and it will be more crucial as the case we need in case we need the real-time data on the fly. So in case you want the real-time data, so the moment, then every second is also crucial. You have to get the data and analyze within the fraction of second to get immediate insights. Okay, so that in that case it is more challenging, and obviously that is this aspect depends on the your understanding of network technologies are required to handle the big data transfer over the network over these different verticals. Then the next challenge is that data management. So generally management, it's a short-term use until the data is analyzed. As I mentioned in the previous slide also, it long-term use, mid-term use and short-term use. So according to the usage of your thing, you can decide that, okay, how you will manage your data. If it is important, in case we want to reuse the data for the further analysis, we can store it in some places where we can reanalyze this data to get more insights. So example is weather forecasting and all. So where that you already have the historical data, and while from the historical data you are making the model, predicting the new thing and storing the new things, validated new thing again into the data, and then again you are rebuilding the model and all. And then the next is the data archiving policy, data archiving challenge. So it's a two type of challenges which are involved here. One is the day-to-day storage challenges and the long-term storage challenges. So day-to-day storage challenges that involve with your day-to-day activity, and long-term storage challenges, you have collected huge amount of data and then you can shelf it somewhere. But the question is how much time you want to store that data, because obviously there is a cost involved in those things. You have to plan accordingly. And then the approach should be the cost effective to store the data for archival purpose. In case it is not needed, you have to just dump it. You can put it in some hard disk, you can save it in cloud, you can save it in disk and all, you can save create a storage server also. So all these things you can do, that depends on that your strategy, your usage, your usability of the data and all. And this makes the big difference in the operational cost, obviously, because you have to spend a lot of money in all these activities. So you have to just think of that what exactly you want to do. And the next important aspect is the data security. So it should remain confidential, because especially it's not only in any domain, especially in healthcare sector. We believe that not only in healthcare sector, almost in every sector, everybody want that their data should be confidential. It should not be public, available in public domain until unless you are posting your things in the social media. So, so all these things, the data security is a major concern. Even in social media, people, they give the access to whom you want to share your content, whether you want to share your content in the open community or from within your group or within your group of friend and all. So this is very important aspect. The data security, it has an integrity where that we just want to make sure that data is not being compromised and that remain as accurate, and that is the challenge involved in the data security aspect. The next is the workforce with the specialized skill. So since the data science is that, okay, if you are studying in some course, you must have learned machine learning, AI, data processing, visualization tool, database and big data tools and all these things. So that will develop your general skill set, general expertise, where it allows you to work on any domain. Only one thing will be missing here is that domain knowledge in which you want to work. Okay, so that is also the important aspect, that in which domain we want to work on. So there is a challenge to get the specialized and trained workforce with that specialized skill who has the domain knowledge. You have the knowledge of data science, you have the knowledge of machine learning model, AI model, but you want to work on that stock market. You don't have any background of finances. It will be difficult. You need to work on the healthcare company or healthcare hospital. So that needs that expertise in the healthcare domain. You want to work on the companies offering the job in the agriculture sector. You have the skills of data science, but then you need to understand that how to apply those models in the agriculture sector. And okay, and so we need a highly specialized workforce to help us to address different issues in data science. And we need expertise from interdisciplinary domain, which is mathematics, statistics, and computer science. And on the top of that, that whatever data science challenges I have discussed here, you should focus on the biggest challenges, that cost of all of the above. So that it should not be that very costly affair. You should minimize the cost from wherever you can do. And finally, as all the challenges are solved, the key will be finding a solution that is cost effective in terms of resources, in terms of storage, in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of providing the solution. So all these factors are very important, and all these are the data science challenges which are very important from the data science point of view. Okay, I'll quickly just cover that few of the application of the data science. Although all of you must have familiar with all these things. So one of the very advanced application is that fraud detection and security. So it helps you to prevent fraud by leveraging analytics, machine learning, and big data technologies to gain a holistic view of customer, identify patterns buried in the data, cluster information, and distinguish fraudulent activities from the normal activity. The another application is the customer segmentation. It will help you to group the customer into the different segment to support the sales, promotion, and marketing campaign by collecting the data, analyzing by all available data, and using the big data technology to mine for intelligence and underlying data system. Then the next application is that risk management. To it supports the new regulation and increasing demand for better internal management support for implementing a central integrated finance and risk management data platform that can quickly, flexible, address the new requirement, and also it helps you to identify the churn prediction, and that when a customer will leave the services and all. Okay. And then the personalized product offering. So it to target the new product and service offering to the right customer by implementing software that supports flexible and integrated process to understand customer buying habits, and that what channel customer listen to, what who is the key influencer, That is various option that people explore, that in case they are interested in personalized offering. Even in your, if you buy something on Amazon, the moment you buy something, immediately some more hints are appears on your list, that okay, you might be interested in these things. Same concept with your YouTube video. If you watch any video, immediately once you watch video, immediately that in the right panel, the suggestion comes that okay, these are the videos you might be interested in, which are linked with that what you have browsed earlier. Okay, so then the social media analytics. The social media analytics is the practice of gathering data from social media websites, analyzing that social media analytics tool to make business decisions. The most common use of the social media analytics is to mine the customer sentiments to support marketing and customer service activities. A very big example of the social media analytics is you can find the case of that Cambridge Analytica, where they took the data from Facebook and they influenced the US election in favor of Trump. So this news you can get in, you can just browse this news and you can get that Cambridge Analytica things, and you can get the idea that how they capture the data and then how they influence the US election in favor of Trump. Okay. Then the healthcare informatics. So it is evolving specialization that links information technology, communication, and healthcare to discover new knowledge and create novel methods to improve the quality and safety of patient care. Image information is now more rapidly integrated with the cloud platform to share the medical image data and workflows, leverage the data science techniques is predicting infectious disease outbreak. And there are many problem and challenges are in healthcare informatics. Other than that, these are the few which I mentioned in general scenario. Because healthcare, the future is we want to, based on your pattern, we want to predict that what could be the symptoms, what could be the precautionary things, what could be the trend of if somebody has some certain disease, what is his future trend, and what precaution you have to take based on your activities and all. So once all this data will be properly streamlined, we reach to the certain level where we can leverage the data science, apply the data analytics and all, and we can get the prior intimation or maybe that precautionary intimation in between, that whether you are at a low risk, high risk, or a moderate risk of certain diseases and all. Then the other things is big data in biology. So in biology, there is a lot of data, tremendous amount of tons of data is available in computational biology. How throughput experiment facilitates the research of new genome-wide association study or gene expression analysis of disease, and with clinical informatics and clinical field benefit from the vast amount of the collected patient data and making intelligent decisions. So it's again a huge domain where is a huge application of data science and practical application of this domain. And another is the personalized medicine offering. So as this you can get from the idea that sometimes it sounds that disease. Okay. So let's say if we talk about the disease breast cancer, so it sounds that it is a breast cancer, but breast cancer is not a single disease. It's a disease of subtype based on the hormonal receptor, based on the expression profile of the hormone receptor. It could be ER based, PR based, or HERP based. So these are different subtypes of that breast cancer. So it's not that is one medicine can be given to a patient who is having the breast cancer. It is also we need to find out the population, that which population is having or which person this person is having which particular kind of breast cancer, and then that needs the personalized treatment according to the type of disease that we have. Then this is the general word cloud that I have compiled at the end to give you that what are the other application that you can use the data science activities. So these are fraud detection and security, big data in biology, customer segmentation, weather prediction, risk management, healthcare informatics, personalized product offering, spam detection, social media analytics, performance analysis, personalized medicine, data management, disease classification, geospatial data visualization, customer behavior, survival analysis, text analytics, speech analysis, digit recognition, automation, call drop analysis, robotics, web and application development, predictive web analytics, and financial fraud. So these are the diverse area where you can apply the skill set of data science and then use all these things, all these techniques and technologies and all to solve this problem in some sense, to get more insight, to generate more business problem, to get more insight about this data science activity. Okay, so with all these, I'm just finishing this talk.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alok Srivastava. And it was really a very wonderful talk. And everyone, I must enjoyed and have learned something about the data science, as you have shared a lots of things and views related to data science with the participants. And I'm sure it will be very important equally to understand what is the market view of the data science in today's scenario. So, sir, here are few questions. Can I take up one by one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So here is the first question by Jyoti Jagir. She is asking, how does the dropout technique exactly work in data science?
So called dropout
Technique. How
dropout
does
technique.
the dropout technique exactly work in data science?
Okay, so dropout techniques actually, I'm not very sure that in which context she is asking the dropout technique, but one dropout technique is that sometimes, let's say you are teaching in a class of 100 students and somebody wants to study the do the analysis for the teacher. Okay, so it's a general example I'm giving, and there are 4 students in the class who doesn't want to study at all. And then there are 1 student who is outperforming in the class. So whatever the teacher is teaching, their mark who are not performing in the class will always be less than 4, less than 10. And the one who is outperforming will always get the marks less than 95%. So these two are the outliers in this study. So in case you want to actually study the behavior of the students in the class, these are the outliers which you have to drop out from the study and perform the study to get the actual behavior in the class actually. And all. So this is one aspect of dropout. There is another aspect of dropout in another sense. So this is also one of the sense. So I'm not very sure that what exactly she is asking, but this can also give the idea in her experiment. Whenever there is an outlier, she can plan to drop out those things from the experiment and perform the experiment to get the actual insight.
Okay, I hope it answers Jyoti. If she is available here, she can unmute and she can ask if she has further query related to her question. Punitji, you can give access to Jyoti. Are you there, Jyoti?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Yeah. Could you please explain more about your question? Dr. Alok wants to know.
Particular data, if we are working on a particular data set, then on that data set, how the technique works. So Alok sir already have given an idea. So it's
Okay.
pretty clear. Yeah.
Yeah. So in case you have some more query, you can ask me after the session also.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
You can mail me, I can answer your queries and all.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So here is another question from Dr. Vimal Singh. He is asking, what flow chart can be developed for identifying specific RNA related dry eye disease using data mining, machine learning, or AI powered tools?
Yeah, RNA related, I missed that after that.
What flow chart can be developed for identifying specific RNA related dry eye disease using data mining, machine learning, or AI powered tools?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
Vimal
can I
sir, you
speak?
can speak.
It's not
Yeah,
RNA only, it is long known coding RNA data set. Because we have already collection of long known coding data set with us, which we are trying to analyze for identifying the aberrantly expressed LNC RNAs and their relationship with a particular disease.
So, Dr. Vimal, so it's so there are a lot of publications which are available here related to this activity. And so many people have done work on the RNA-seq long non-coding RNA. In your department, Dr. Amit was also there. He left recently. He was also working on non-coding RNA. And then so you can get those ideas specifically to design the prototype and pipeline, because initially that will start from that data collection in case you are involved in data collection. So in case you are not involved in data collection, then you have to skip that data collection part and you have to start from the data processing part. And
Yeah,
in
actually,
case
we
you
have
are,
already collected the data.
Huh.
Raw sequences we are having with us. We have collected tissue. We have
Huh.
got all the RNA sequences with us. Now we
Okay.
wanted to know how the bioinformatic tools could be used for further analysis to find out some valuable information.
So,
I
Dr.
have
Vimal,
some
I'll do
ideas
one
from
thing.
different papers like you are saying.
Yeah. Dr. Vimal, I'll do one thing. I'll share few reference article with you. That will be fine, so that you can get the idea that how to design that pipeline and all.
Yeah. Can I speak to you later on? Yeah, through email we can interact so that
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
help me
Sure,
step by step in reaching to
sure.
some valuable
Sure.
point.
Yeah, sure.
That-
I'll.
Okay, can you share your email ID to us?
Email ID you can take from Dr. Khushbu. She can share.
Okay, fine.
Otherwise, she can share.
Fine,
Okay.
thank you.
I'll share with all the participants your email ID.
Yeah. If anybody is interested in any kind of understanding, because I love to interact with a student, and even I'm giving, it's not only me and my group of collaborators, we are also giving training to the participants remotely also. And in case somebody want to come in the campus, we can train them in campus also. But in case somebody want to develop their skill set in data science, they can connect with me online, and we will help them to develop your skill set in that domain. Only thing is that you should hardworking, dedicated. These are the primary condition, because in
Yes.
remotely, until unless you are not spending time, we will not spend. If you will spend time and you will do the exercise, we will help you to develop your skill set in that particular domain. And it's not only I am from India, there are my collaborator are from Spain, Canada, UK. We all are in the collaborative way, are giving training to different participants. Those who are interested in some or other aspect of data science and all, that depends on that. So in case anybody of you are interested in doing the training, internship and everything, let us know. Based on our availability, we will let you know, we can connect. So only my two condition I have mentioned, just you have to just think of.
Thank you so much, sir. So I'm sure participants are gaining a lot and they will further interact with you. But sir, we are having more queries here. So can we go ahead with the query?
Sure.
So Dr. Rashmi Gupta from Computer Science Department, she is asking, what are the measures to check data security? If you find data breach is there, how to overcome the problem?
So
First question is measure to check the data security. What are the parameters?
So frankly speaking, that I am not experts in data security domain. So data security, I know very little bit about. Maybe you people are people in Amity who are working in data security has more knowledge on those things. I can help you in just framing the model, framing the machine learning, in case you can tell me about the data, that how your data is there. So I'm not the expertise to give you the right answer for this your question. Sorry, Dr. Rashmi. But in case you want this answer, I can do some homework and can get back to you with your query. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Actually, the data is important. As you told, that data is primarily and highly important. If someone has understood data, they can go ahead with applying a machine learning or AI algorithms based on that data, and then it can be rectified.
So in case you can tell me about your data and all, then I can help you in training the model, making that model, that how you can make the model to get that idea that where that some breaching is happening or something is happening. I know one aspect because I have created the application during my PhD. So there is a server log that is there. By looking that server log, we can get the idea that how many hits are coming in your server and all. But that is very common thing. People knows already. But the exact expertise level of answers, so I need to also go through it.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, here is next question from Mr. Sanjeev Kumar. He wants to know what are the open sources channels from where we can get verified data related to AI and ML.
So actually, Sanjeev,
Ji.
Yeah. So Mr. Sanjeev, that the thing there are various sources which are available in the data. Earlier, it was mostly that people, initial level, mostly that people take the data from Kaggle and GitHub and all. But Kaggle and GitHub, if that company has organized some contest just like Facebook or Google, some other companies. So then the data, obviously they will not put the data in the portal. So whatever the small amount of data they must have put, that will be authenticated. Okay, but in the current, and then there are many application, many websites where you can get the idea about the data which is published. But what happened in the past 3-4 years, that the publication strategy, that all of people who are producing the data and writing the publication, they have also changed the strategy. Now they have opened the separate article for the data itself, where whatever scientific data has been generated, that has been published and in some data article. So the data which you will get from those data, even the Nature also has one journal, Nature Scientific Data, and there are other, Springer also have, elsewhere has, and other sources are also there. So in case you will take this data is somehow authenticated, because people are spending money to put that data in the forum. It is not open source data. It is open source data. It is not that data which is available in open application and some web page. So this could be your authenticated data, or the data which the companies are putting in some open forum, Kaggle or GitHub, like those are the authenticated data. Or in case somebody has published the data along with their scientific article. Or other than this, in case you will directly collect the data from, let's say you will collect the data from hospital, you will definitely get the authenticated data. But that data will have lot of problems. The raw data always have lot of problems. Even if somebody will give you the raw data from e-commerce site, you have to do a lot of pre-processing on those data to get, so that you can use this data for your. So these are few sources you can get. Even the government of India also has open the portal data.gov.in. But the problem is that does not have sufficient data. There are few data sets which are available that you can use, but I don't know how much. I have not used. I've seen that application. So there are few data sets that are available over there also.
I hope it answers Sanjeev query. So I'm going ahead with the next question, which is from Dr. Anil Kumar Mishra, who is Associate Professor in Computer Science Department. He is asking, with respect to data science, how regularly must an algorithm be updated?
Yeah, so actually, what is his name? Dr.
Anil Kumar Mishra.
Dr. Anil. So Dr. Anil, that depends on the context, that where we are using it and for what purpose we are using it and all. So when we work on the actual machine learning problem, especially in the real world scenario. So let's say you are working in a hospital or our agriculture sector. So in case you are working in hospital, it's not that many years we are collecting the data online. In the past few years, or maybe a decade time, that people have started collecting the data online. So in case you will work on the initial model in the current time, so you will not get the sufficient amount of data to make an actual model which will work for the 90%, 90, 95 or 96% accuracy. But whatever the data you have, that will give you, that you can use either as a pilot study or proof of concept, and then you can design those algorithms. And then whatever outcome you are getting on a small subset of data, then you can decide. Obviously, if you reach to a level of the accuracy of 99% or 98%, you don't need to update your algorithm after that. But if your data size is less and you are again generating a lot of data, then again you can increase the data size, rebuild, retune the model, redefine your algorithm, redefine your hyperparameter tuning, and then perform the analysis, so that next level of accuracy can be achieved.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope Anil sir has got his answer. So, sir, one more question is here from Dr. Sarita Gulia. She is asking, kindly brief about data center migration.
Okay. So data center migration. So actually, I have some idea. It's not that I don't have, I have some idea. So that also depends on that specific requirement of the user, that whosoever is generating the data. So just like that initially, because it's not that everybody, nowadays, people are moving towards the cloud. So if they are moving towards the cloud, if from the beginning you are using the cloud, then there is a very less concern about migrating from one cloud to another cloud, until unless there is some misagreement and all those things happen. So you don't need to take care. But practically, if you talk about the people, they say that it is difficult from move from one cloud to another cloud in some aspect, while in some aspect it can be done. Earlier, if you see that lot of people prefer to develop in-house application. In-house premises, they set up the center, they set up the storage center and all. So in that case, then they need to transfer the cloud or some other premises. So in that case, that this question is relevant and important, that how migration strategy, what are their consideration, whether their consideration is they don't want to invest in infrastructure, they don't want to invest in maintenance, they want to spend only in the SaaS service or application, whatever they want to use it on the cloud. So and then financial modeling also, that how much money they are involving, costing factor is also. So all these factors all together they need to see to decide that migration strategy, and accordingly they can plan it.
Thank you so much, sir, explaining very important topic and giving answer to all the queries. I hope Sarita has got the answer. Yeah, she is writing. Thank you, sir. So it was really wonderful session with you, sir. And you have given us your precious time and we value it. Really thankful to you from all the entire Amity University, Haryana, and all the organizing committee of FDP. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. So again, if anybody has any query or any question, you can just mail me. You just please share my mail ID with all of them. And
Okay, sir.
Yeah. If somebody else have any other question, they can also contact.
Sure,
Okay.
sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Now we have our next speaker of the session, Dr. Sunil Sikka. Sir, are you there? Dr. Sunil
Yes.
Sikka?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Yeah, you are clearly audible. I can see you. Thank you, sir, for joining today's session here.
Thank you, ma'am.
So this is the time to again invite our special guest, Dr. Sunil Sikka, who is currently professor in Amity University, Haryana, Gurgaon. He has completed his doctorate degree from MD University, Rohtak in 2011. He has more than 20 years of experience as an academician and researcher. His broad research and teaching interest includes artificial intelligence, natural language processing, robotic process automation, data science and software engineering. He has published 40 research papers in international journals, national journals, and conferences. He is guiding 4 PhD research scholars. He is active member of Easy Chair, IET, CSI, and Sakura Science Club, Japan. He is also a member of Directorate of Research and Publications, coordinator of Center of Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, and he is also heading the Amity School of Information and Technology as a Deputy Director of Directorate Outcome at AUH. He can be available for the topic AI, robotics, automation, artificial intelligence, etc. With these words, I would like to call upon Dr. Sunil Sikka for his special talk on today's session. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Khushbu. First of all, thank you to all organizing members for inviting me in this FDP. And can I share the screen? Is it open? Yes.
Yes, sir. You can share the slide.
So,
put it in slideshow mode, sir.
Yeah, one.
Kindly put it in slideshow mode. Yes.
Okay. So
Perfectly.
today I am here to present on a topic that is robotic process automation. Since last 2 or 3 days, you have heard a lot about AI and data science and the emerging trends in the AI and data science. But my topic is totally different, and that is robotic process automation. And it's relatively very new field. And with the name, it seems that it is related to something robotics, where we have some hardware interface. But actually, this robotic process automation is not a technology for based on the hardware. It is a purely software-based technology. And initially, the AI and RPA were totally different. That in my subsequent slides, I'll tell you what is the difference between the RPA and AI. But now there are a lot of things in the RPA where AI is also used. Okay. So let us start with a question, that is, what is robot? So whenever somebody talk about the robot, generally the picture that comes in everybody's mind is a kind of humanoid robot having some legs, hands, and some head and some sensors and cameras mounted on this robot. So we can say that robot is an machine specially which can be programmed, okay, to carry out some complex tasks that is difficult to do manually. Okay. Now the next question is, can a robot be only software? Okay, so the answer to this question is yes. A robot can also be a purely software without any hardware interface. Okay, and this type of robots are known as bots. Bots are basically some programs, some autonomous programs that can perform some repetitive tasks in a predefined well mannered, and that can also replicate the human being behavior. Okay, and it can any bot can do a lot of tasks that includes working with screen, like interacting with the UI and pressing some keys, extracting some data, or many more. Okay, and the advantage is, with the help of these bots, we can do the tasks which are very time consuming and very complex in a simple manner. Now, few examples of the bots are chatbot. Everybody nowadays knows that what is chatbot. It's basically a bot uh, which is used for the conversation. You can give your questions to the chatbot, and chatbot answers the question. And you know that chatbots are of two types. One is rule based, another is AI based. And the biggest example of the chatbot nowadays is uh, everybody is talking about ChatGPT. Now, web crawlers that can scan the contents over the web and extract some useful information. And similarly, the social bots that can work on some social media platforms. Is bot always good? No. The bot can also perform some tasks that is not good. They can perform some malicious activities. Okay, so we can classify the bots into two categories: good bots and bad bots. Some of the examples where a bot can perform some malicious activity are, like, they can violate some uh, authentications or rules. They can attempt to carry some cyber crimes, or they can theft some useful data of somebody else, useful data for which the person who is operating the bot is not authorized. Or they can also jam the traffic. They can also generate a lot of traffic on the net, so that the actual user, who is the genuine user and working on the net, is not able to use a application. Now the examples are credential stuffing, web content scraping, DDoS or DOS attack, brute force password cracking, inventory hoarding, spam content, email address harvesting, click fraud. For example, if we'll talk about the click fraud, sometimes what happens on a click of some on some ad or somewhere else, the user can earn some money. So what we can do, we can develop a bot that will keep clicking on the ads and earn the money. Second is email address harvesting uh, that can fetch email addresses from the net and then use that email addresses for emailing some spam content. Similarly, one another example is inventory hoarding that is related to e-commerce websites, where the bot it's a basically DOS attack or DDoS attack, where a bot can generate a DOS attack, so that the actual user is not able to buy something from the site, and many more. The another classification of the bot is attended bot and unattended bot. Attended bot is the bot which needs some human being intervention. Suppose you have developed a bot. When you will start that bot will perform the task, but in between, your intervention is also required. For example, there is a bot that can log in with some credentials, but somewhere you have to put some captcha. Now, to enter that captcha, human being intervention is required. Although there are some techniques where the captcha can also be inputted by the uh, bot. Okay. And unattended bots are the bots that do not require any kind of human being intervention. Even user need not to start that bot. That will be started automatically. Some scheduling is already there on the server. So on the scheduled time, the bot is automatically started and it will perform its task without any human being intervention. I'll come to this slide little later, but before that, now what is RPA? What is robotic process automation? Robotic process automation is a software technology that is basically used to build bots, that is used to build, deploy, test, debug the bots. And there are many tools available for the RPA technology. Some of the tools that are available are listed here, like UiPath, Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, OutSystems, Eggplant, and so many. But the most commonly used are UiPath, Blue Prism, and Automation Anywhere. Okay, now where does this AI plays the role? Actually, if we compare the AI and the RPA, these are totally different kind of technologies. RPA, when we develop with the RPA, generally the boards are governed by the rule-based systems, where we have some predefined or a well-defined sequence of steps, and that is performed by the board. That is what the meaning of the RPA is. But AI is where some sort of intelligence, human being intelligence is required, that can deal with some different situations. But now with the invention of some new technologies, some new applications, AI can also be used with the RPA. For example, there is an application that is known as document understanding. Okay, so this is one of the application where we use AI along with the RPA. So what is document understanding? Let's say we have a document where the user has, we have a form where the user has provided a lot of information, its name, address, and many other information. Let's say it's a form of the student. A student has filled the form with a lot of information. Now we want to understand, we want to extract some information from this form. So we have to do this manually. But with the help of document understanding, what we can do, we can just scan that document and give this document to the bot, the bot will automatically process this document and try to extract some useful information from the document. And for that, there are a lot of machine learning models already pre-trained, already models, built-in models are there in the RPA that works at the background. The only thing is we have to train those models for the documents that we want to process. Similarly, some other applications, email classifications, which we can do with the machine learning integrations, natural language understanding, and some classification tools along with the RPA. Chatbot is another application where the AI is required. In the beginning, I told that there are two types of chatbots. One is rule-based chatbot and another is AI-based chatbot. So if you are working with a rule-based chatbot, you can develop it with the RPA just by using the rules that you already have, built-in rules. But if you are developing some AI-based chatbot, then obviously we need some sort of AI technologies to work out. For example, NLP. One of the tool that is available is data flow. I think it's a tool of the Google that is used to design the interface for the chatbot. Okay, the user will interact with the chatbot that is designed using the data flow, and at the background, wherever some logic is required, where some processing is required, RPA will work. This is how, along with the RPA and data flow, we can develop some chatbots. And now coming to this particular slide, that how the AI evolve. Initially, we have some machines having no intelligence. Then with over the time, some new technologies have been developed that can be used to accept the inputs in a better way. Like one of the example is computer vision. Now this computer vision also has an applications in the RPA that I'll tell you later, that how computer vision can also be used in the RPA. Next is learning or machine learning that I've explained using the one of the application like document understanding, where that machine learning is the major tool that is used for the document understanding. And then coming to the reasoning. Okay, so once we will have the machines with the vision capability, with the learning capability, and with the reasoning capabilities, then we can develop the bots that are human like bots. And with the integration of RPA and the AI, there are few applications that were not earlier possible, but now it is possible with the RPA. That some of the application I already explained, like document understanding, chatbot, classifying emails, forms, and working with structured or unstructured data, etc. Okay, now what are the tools? As I already told, there are a lot of tools available to work with the RP. But one of the most commonly used tool to work with the RP is UiPath. It's the name of the company, globally renowned company that is working with the automation, software automation, and it's a Romania-based company. And the what are the boards that we can develop in the UiPath? We call them process. Okay, so if you want to develop any bot in the UiPath, we call it process. And broadly, we can classify the process into the three categories. One is sequence, another is flowchart, and the third is state machine. And at the outset, all are same. They are just the only difference between these three type of process is the representational capabilities. For example, if you are developing a bot using the sequence process, then the bot is represented using set of activities in a sequential manner. If I'll use the flowchart layout, then in the flowchart layout, I can design the process, I can design the bot just the way we draw a flowchart. And third is the state machine, where the bot is represented as a collection of the states and the transitions. All are bot, the only difference is how the bot is represented. There are four major components of a UiPath process or a UiPath bot. One is the UiPath Studio, UiPath Orchestrator, UiPath Robot, and UiPath Assistant. UiPath Studio is basically ID, integrated development environment, where we can develop our bots, we can execute them, we can test them, we can debug them. UiPath Orchestrator is just like a control panel where we can deploy our bot, we can schedule our bot. So that will work at the background, okay, just to controls our bot. UiPath Robot is actually bot that will work, and UiPath Assistant is just a component that is just used to start or stop the bot, and that is used if you are working with the attended bot, because in UiPath you need to start or stop your bot. But with the help of orchestrator, we can schedule it and we can use it in a unattended mode. Okay. Now we'll see that how we can work with the UiPath. Okay, let me start the UiPath. I've already installed UiPath. It's freely available on the uipath.com. So if you want to install it, you can go to uipath.com, and when you will install it, you will have Studio in your system. I've already explained installed, so I have already UiPath Studio in my laptop. I'm starting it. It will take few minutes because initially it will load some APIs and some workflows, plugins. Okay, so this is the screen will come when you will start the UiPath. So now I want to design my own bot. So designing a bot means designing a process or developing a process. So you will simply click on the new process, and you can give here the name of the bot that you want to develop. So I'll just explain using an example. For example, movie rating. This is the bot I want to develop. And what is the language that works behind the bot? That is basically your .NET. So your entire UiPath is based on .NET. You can use any language of the .NET. Either you can use VB.NET or C#.NET. I'm using here C#.NET. Yeah, I think this is already available. So I've changed the name, movie rating 1, create. So it is creating a process. So after creating a new process, it will open another screen. will take time to start.
So, Dr. Sikka, in the meantime, can we have some conversation with you regarding the robotic AI process?
Yes, yes.
So, sir, actually, I just wanted to know, other than VB and C Sharp, what are the other languages or platform which supports it?
UI supports only VB and C Sharp. Some other tools may support other languages also, like one of the tool, I think Automation Anywhere, it supports Java. But this particular UI path is based on .NET framework.
So here is one question. What we can use AI in drones as we are using AI in robotics?
Obviously, we can use AI in drone,
Yes.
like a lot of applications of the drones are there that use the AI, for example, object recognition, object detection, and many surveillance robots. Everything is based on AI. But I think the question is not clear whether you want to ask about only AI or AI and RPA.
It seems like AI in robotics,
Yes,
which
so
is being used for the drone purpose.
drone applications are purely based on AI. They are the applications of AI.
So we can use chatbot there also, right?
Yes. Chatbot in drone.
Yes.
No, chatbot is a different kind of application where the user can interact with the bot through any GUI interface. But the drone may have some different kind of applications. Okay, so here you can see that the window has come. Now you can see on the left hand side, we have a lot of activities. Okay, the beauty of this particular tool is you need not to write any code. Okay, already you have built-in activities, and you can also design your own activities by using this these activities. By dragging and dropping these activities, we can even develop very complex codes, okay, without writing even a single line of code. So click just here, click on the open main workflow. So what I'm going to do, let's say we want to design a bot where I want to fetch the movie rating. We already have one website, that is imdb.com. Okay, so in imdb.com you can type the name of the movie whose uh, rating you want to check. So when this movie will come, for example, this is the movie, okay, Blood Ounce. So when you will click on this movie, it will show here somewhere that 8.1 out of 10 is the rating of this movie. So what I'm doing this task manually. First, I open this website, then I type the movie name, then I move to that particular page where the rating is there, then I read that rating. Now, what I want to I want to do the same task using a bot. Okay, I want to design a bot. That bot will open this website, bot will type the movie name, bot will fetch the movie rating, and then it will display that movie rating to you. So how we can do, just within 5 minutes, we can design that bot just by using these activities and without writing any code. Like one of the activity is, I'm giving this example just to give you an idea that what is RPA and what kind of tasks we can do using the RPA. So one of the activity is open browser. Click here, drag and drop it. Here you have to specify the URL, the site that you want to open. So my site is imdb.com. This is the website I want to open. So I'll simply type here in the develop. And we have the properties where you can specify that which browser you want to use. Somewhere you will find here the browser name. First, select that activity. Okay, and browser type. Let's say I want to use Chrome browser. Okay. Second is I want to type the name of the movie whose rating I want to fetch. So for that, we have an activity that is type into. Just drag and drop that activity. Okay. Now here you have to specify which control you want, where you want to type. So you can see here a link, indicate element inside the browser here. And here you have to specify the control where you want to type the movie name. So I want to type the movie name here. So it will automatically create a code for that in this activity. And here you have to mention the name of the movie whose rating you want. For example, this is like Black Mirror. Okay, this is the movie name. Or let's say this is a movie name whose rating I want. I just type here the movie name. Okay, so when you will run this bot, it will automatically type the movie in this particular site. And next, I want to click on this movie. Once you will type here the movie name, here you have to click. For that, we have a click activity. So simply search here, click. Drag and drop the click activity. Okay, again, indicate where you want to click. I want to click in this part of the website. Okay. It will automatically move you to the particular page of this particular movie. Now, once you will click on this movie, you will move to a page where you can fetch the movie rating. So the movie rating is here 6.8. So how I'll fetch that movie rating? There's one activity that is get text. So I'll simply drag and drop this activity. Again, you have to show that from where you want to fetch that information. So I want to fetch that information from this particular area of the web page. Okay, the code will be automatically generated. And whatever is the rating, that will be stored in some variable. So you need to create here a variable in the property value property. So how to create a variable in here in UiPath, you have to simply click here Control K and give the name of the variable. Let's say my variable name is rating. So I can see here in the tag variables, you will see here it has created a variable rating. Now I want to display that rating to the user. Okay, so for that you have a activity write line. Okay, and you can display here the you can type here the name of the variable whose value you want to display. So my bot is ready. Okay, I am not written any code for that. Now suppose, okay, let me close that site first. Now what I want to do, I want to run that bot. Click here. Now I am not doing anything. This bot will automatically open the browser, will open the defined portal. So let us see how it will work. It is running. You can see a green icon at the bottom. This is basically bot. It has opened this portal, type the movie name, then fetch the rating and display it on the screen. So if I'll go back to the bot, you can see here, this is the movie rating 6.8. So I'm not done anything. Just once the bot is designed, you only have to start that bot. So because I have started that bot, even there is no intervention required. But initially an intervention is required just to start that bot. Therefore, still it is a attended bot because I need to start it manually. But if I'll schedule it in the orchestrator and I'll set the time and that will automatically be started, then it will become unattended bot. Now this bot is very simple, but just imagine the little complex version of this bot. I have a list of movies in Excel, okay, and I want, let's say that there are 1000 movies in an Excel sheet. I want to fetch the rating of each movie. So if I'll do the same task manually, I'll go to the particular website, type the movie name, then fetch it, copy it, and paste it back to the Excel sheet. It will take a lot of time. But what I can do by using the Excel automation and UI automation, what I can do, I can design a bot. This bot will read one by one movie name from the Excel sheet, search that movie from the IMDb, fetch the movie rating, and copy back the movie rating to the Excel sheet. So it's a little complex version of the same bot. Okay, but very useful bot. So this is just an idea like how to design a bot in the RPA. Now, if you want to learn, so what else we can do with the RPA and what are the other applications, what are the other automations that we can do with the RPA? And if you want to learn RPA, that what from where I can learn it. So there's one site, uipath.com. Just go to this website. You'll find here a link, resources. Under the resources, there is a link, Academy. And in the Academy link, you'll find here a lot of courses that you can do to learn the RPA. Okay, but the first fundamental course that you need to do is RPA Developer Foundation. Click here. It will take you to the page of this particular course. Okay. So because I have already enrolled in this course, therefore it is displaying all the contents. But if you are new, you will find here a icon, a button that enrolls. So once you will enroll, so you'll find here a lot of contents. Okay. Now, what are the contents? Like here is the first 2 or 3 videos are related to the fundamentals of the RPA. What is RPA? What are the applications of RPA? Then here variable arguments, control flow, like how to use, how to create the variables, what are the various data types, how to use the control flows, if, loop, all these, how we can use in the bot. Then UI automation. If what is UI automation? User interface automation. The bot that we have developed just now using IMDb portal is basically one of the example of the UI automation, where we have to click on the various buttons, we have to type something, we have to scroll. So any UI activity, sort of UI activity you want to perform using the board, this is known as UI automation. And you can also automate data tables and Excel. For example, the data that I have fetched is just a single value, the movie rating. But your data may be in a form of a Excel sheets or maybe in form of a table. So how to automate it, how to use it, and then how to work with the strings, lists, dictionaries. Then selectors, how to work with the selector. Selector is the most important part, particularly when you are working with the UI automation. For example, the board that we have just developed, if we go back to this board, I just want to show you that what is selector. If I'll go back to this board, okay. When I'll run this board, how the board will come to know that where the movie name has to be typed. Okay, I've used one activity that is in type into, but when I'll run this board, how the board will come to know that in the portal where the movie name has to be typed, because there may be multiple text boxes. So this is done with the help of selector. If I'll click here, okay, you'll find one of the option that is edit selector. And at the bottom, you can see these tags. These tags or this code is basically known as selector. The first line is the selector of the parent, and second line is the selector of the text. So basically this is the tag that will identify the control where you have to click. Okay. And in RPA terminology, it is known as selector. And this is the most important part of any UI automation. Then it also includes automation of PDF. Okay, somewhere you will find here, like, yeah, this one. PDF automation. Your PDF may be a pure PDF in a form of a text, or maybe it's an image. So how we can work, how we can extract the data from such PDF, that we can also do using the PDF automation along with the AI, and one another tool is there that is known as OCR. So by using these all the tools together, we can work with the PDF automation. Similarly, email automation. We can also create bot that automatically fetch our emails from our input box and also reply them by using, again, here we have to use the NLP. Again, we need to use machine learning, NLP and AI models just to for automatic reply of the email or the classifications of the email. Similarly, some other modules in this particular course include the orchestrator modules, where you will see that how to deploy the boards in a production environment, and how to test those boards. So this is the most fundamental course to learn the RPA technology. And once you will learn all of these, then you can move to the other courses. Like one of the course include that is document understanding. This is a little advanced part of the RPA, where you can design some boards that can understand the scanned documents and process a lot of data. Okay, and along by the combination of all these tools, you can design boards that can do miracles. Even you can replace a human being by designing all these boards. Like a few days before, when I uh, uh, went to my CA for filling the ITR, he was using actually one of the RPA based board, where he had just click on the board. Now the bot has filed my RTR. Okay, everything was pre-trained. The bot automatically fetch all the information from the various sites and filled that ITR and submit it without doing anything. The only task that she has done, the captcha, wherever captcha was required, the only captcha was provided by the CA. Rest all the tasks were done by this bot. So this is one of the applications that I've recently seen of the RPA. Okay, so this was all about like basics of RPA and how we can learn RPA, what is the starting point and how AI can play an important role in the RPA. Now the session is open for the question answer session, and I'll request all the participants to please share at least one use case. If you understood that what I have explained, then at least share one of the use case where we can use the RPA. Okay, so you are free to share your views. Over to Khushbu ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful sharing thoughts. And you have explained very well, I think, AI in robotics, process automation. And really thankful to you for giving your precious time today and sharing your views with all the participants here. So, sir, I have one query which is posted here by Mr. Manoj Pandey. He's asking, is there any bot or browser extension that can be used to avoid or autofill captcha?
Yes, here what we can use, like one of the application that I discussed is computer vision. By using that computer vision, and OCR also. First, very simple is OCR. Just when you have to fill your captcha, maybe let us suppose that your captcha is in form of an image. So what I'll do, I'll flash that image with the OCR. I'll convert that image to the text. Then this bot will automatically type that captcha wherever it has to be typed. So we can bypass the human being intervention also for the captcha. But its accuracy is not 100% because sometimes the image is not so clear that OCR cannot convert into the exact text. So in that case, by improving that image quality, okay, you can make it clear, and this can also be avoided. A lot of work has been also done to avoid the captcha also.
Thank you so much, sir. I think Manoj sir has got the answer. Yes, he is writing. Thank you. So no more questions here in the chat box. If anyone has any question from the participants, please share your views.
If the participants have no question, you can share any use case where the RPA has used. If you can design one use case of the RPA, it means what I have explained is clear to you. Just try to yes, one of the use case I can see here, this can be used in Tatkal ticket. Yes, exactly. We can do it. We can schedule the bot for the Tatkal booking, and you need not to do any intervention. All the data is already provided, maybe in form of a notepad file or in form of Excel. The bot will automatically fetch that data, will fill it and book your ticket.
So, sir, one question is coming to my mind since we are from the Amity University, Gurgaon. What can we design for Amity University as a chatbot, as a use case? So please suggest something.
Lot of applications are there that you can use the RPA. Like one of the application where I was working, I can share that generally a lot of time the higher authority is asking about a lot of information of the faculties that has to be fetched from the web. Yeah. For example, they need your I index, H index. Okay, so what we used to do generally, every faculty open its web page of that particular information, then fetch and then type it and then mail it. So what you can do, you can have a list of the faculty members in an Excel sheet already there. Okay, just run a bot. What this bot will do, this bot will fetch the name of the faculty member, automatically search the I index and H index of that particular faculty member from the web and copy it to the back to the Excel sheet. So we can do this can be done for the means
MT.
all faculty members.
All faculty
So the
members.
whole process can be completed just within the few minutes, for which
Yes.
we need a lot of hours to complete that job. Once you will develop this board, you can do just within few minutes. Like
So
this
here
is
Manoj Pandey ji is writing that we can also use for PBAS filling.
actually, see, PBAS filling you can also use, because for filling the PBAS, lot of information is required from the different web pages or the portals. So if there are two things, like if the application is under my control, for example, I am the developer who is working on Amazon. Okay, so our lot of all the information is already there on the Amazon. So what I can do, I can just develop a program that can fetch all required information from the database and then design a PBAS form. Okay. For that, even the bot is not required, because I am the owner of that application. I have all the authorities. I can do everything. Okay. But if you are working with any third party application, for example, the application you just talk about, that railway reservation, the car booking. So I am not the developer. I have no authority. I have no access to their particular code. So here the bot will play a role. If you are working with your own application, then you can simply write the code to whatever you want to write. But if you are working with somebody's other application, then it is good idea to design a bot. Or if somebody else want to work on your application for which the code is not accessible, then he or she can design that code.
Rightly said, sir. We have different domains in PBAS filling and we need different type of data sheets to access and fetch the data, and again to make the learn board so that we can get the data. So here Sanjeev Kumar is writing, we can also use it for WhatsApp business for answers query.
See, if you attended the yesterday's talk of Dr. Mani, he talked about no technology is useful if you cannot create a better business model. Okay, so similarly,
Absolutely.
even RPA is useless if you cannot create your better business models. So same applies here. So actually the purpose of the RPA is to generate better business model. Okay, profitable business, the more innovative applications. So chatbot is one of them.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. I think the whole just what I got from your talk is that if we want to design a bot, we need to understand the development of the process.
Yes.
If we have designed the correct process and we have gone through the proper chatbots or the attended bots or unattended bots in the different manners, then we can go ahead with the RPA process and we can apply AI in RPA.
Right.
So I cannot see any another communication here in the chat box, sir. So I think we should wind up here. Thank you so much, sir, for your sparing valuable time with all of us. And we are really thankful from all the entire team of the FDP, Amity University, Haryana. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you to all organizing team and all the participants. Thank you all.
Thank you. So here is announcement that we will resume after post lunch at 2 o'clock for the next speaker's talk. So I request all the participants to be on time. Have a great day, sir. I, Dr. Khushbu Tripathi, welcome you all to the post-lunch session of the 5 days FDP. This afternoon, we have one session with two speakers. We have extremely privileged to have speakers Dr. Shweta Sinha and Mr. Akshat Agrawalji among us. The topic of the session is voice-based human-machine interaction in the Industry 4.0 era. I must introduce Dr. Shweta Sinha before delivering her expert talk. Dr. Shweta Sinha is working as an associate professor in Computer Science Engineering Department, Amity University, Haryana, Gurugram. She obtained her PhD from Birla Institute of Technology, Mishra. She has more than 18 years of industry, teaching, and research experience. Her areas of expertise are speech and natural language processing, blockchain, and social engineering. She has been a co-PI of 3 consultancy projects on speech from Nokia Research Center, China, and SAC, DRDO, Delhi. Apart from this, she has been a part of many DST-sponsored projects on speech and has worked in collaboration with CDAC Noida and CDAC Kolkata. She has published over 34 research papers and book chapters with reputed publishers like Elsevier, Springer, Wiley, and InterScience publishers. With these words, I would like to invite Dr. Shweta Sinha. I would also like to invite our next speaker, Mr. Akshat Agrawal, who has completed a BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from UPTU Lucknow and MTech from USICT GGS IPU. He is currently pursuing PhD from Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi. He is an assistant professor at Amity University, Haryana, Amity School of Engineering and Technology, Gurugram. He has a total of 14 years of teaching and research experience. Artificial intelligence, deep learning, artificial neural network, speech processing, and image processing are among his primary research interests. He has published a total of 34 research papers in Scopus indexed and reputed refereed international journals. He has guided 20 MTech theses and 42 BTech projects. In June 2019, he visited to Technical University of Košice in Slovakia for mobility program and also visited the University of Nova, Portugal through CAPSIN project. He actively participated in the peer review of research papers and book chapters. He served on the program committee of several conferences. He has edited one special issue on sustainable technological solutions for next generation intelligent buildings in smart cities for EAI endorsed transactions on smart cities, EUDL, and 2 edited books for Wiley Publications and IGI Global. With these words, I would like to welcome our speakers, Dr. Shweta Sinha and Mr. Akshat Agrawalji for delivering her expert talk, expert talk. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Khushbu, for introducing me to the participants. And apologies, my camera, I think there is some network issue, so it's not working. Maybe after some time you can see me. So a very good afternoon, everyone. So today here, I'm here as a presenter, but not as the moderator of the event. And thanks to Amity University for giving me this platform. The topic for the session is voice-based human-machine interaction in the Industry 4.0 era. And as Dr. Khushbu shared earlier, 2 of us will be presenting here our topic.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Could you please share your slide?
I'll just start sharing.
Sure.
So let me just first share this. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible, but please put it in slideshow mode.
Okay.
Yes, it's fine now.
Okay. Just check that it's moving.
Yes, it's moving.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
So my camera is still not working, I guess. Okay, so this session will be based upon voice-based human-machine interaction in the Industry 4.0 era. And like here the presenters, both of us are from the area of research of NLP, and our research is more focused towards speech processing. So now with 5G around for communication and unprecedented progress in Industry 4.0 is expected. And today we are here to discuss the role of voice-based interaction with the machines in the era of smart industry, or we can say automation in industry with reduced human interventions. Okay, so we will be presenting the nuances of Industry 4.0 and human communication in industry and outline the advantages, technology, and challenges of voice-based interactions. Okay, the first part of the presentation will be handled by me, and later on, Mr. Akshat will be joining me. Just a minute, ma'am, the mouse is. Can you see the second slide?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. So at first we just see what does industrial revolution mean, and we can define it as major changes and transitions in manufacturing and industrial processes with new innovative techniques. And so the first and the second industrial revolution was majorly concerned about the machineries, that is, instead of power from animal and human, the revolution started when the uses of machineries came around, and the third one, and also their focus was on mass production, especially in the second revolution. The system, the concept of floor and chain processing was there, and it focused around mass production. The third industrial revolution was focused towards automation and computing technologies, that is, embedded programmable logic controllers came into existence, and they were used to make the process fast. And whereas the fourth industrial revolution strives for large scale machine to machine communication that makes the real time monitoring faster. And it is the realization of the digital transformation of the field, we can say, which tries to deliver real-time decision making in a smart manufacturing world. So what are the key components that is trying to make this possible? So let's move on and see the key components. So the component of Industry 4.0. So this particular diagram, I have taken it from one of the research paper. In the source, I have mentioned it here. So this particular diagram represents the components or the key components, I can say, which is there in Industry 4.0. So this diagram shows those components that are driving the industry, but in general, in many of the research paper, you may find that there are 11 key components, but it's not like they name it differently in different literature. So here, I will be mentioning only a few, everyone knows about most of the things that is here, that is Internet of Things, integrated system, simulations like the autonomous robots, the big data. We all are talking about data as a while, and the augmented reality and the virtual reality, as well as the additive manufacturing, which came into existence with the advent of 3D printing. So in crux, we can say that it is to create a smart industrial world with optimized production and reduced resources that is powered by digital data and fast communication. So it can be said that Industry 4.0 revolves around the infusion of artificial intelligence in manufacturing, which may lead to innovation, advanced manufacturing techniques, and automation. Okay, so now this particular diagram, if we see, as the core of Industry 4 is to minimize the human intervention, but our topic is based upon the human communication with the industry. So here I am including human in this picture. In general, this particular diagram, this doesn't show anything where we can say that human has direct collaboration, or that human can be considered as a direct component of this Industry 4.0. But I'll just discuss where the existence of human lies in all of these key components. Okay. So this particular, this is the layered structure, which we say that 5C design principles of cyber physical system. So this diagram shows the we can say that it simply shows how what is the essential framework of Industrial Revolution 4.0. And this 5C principle, design principle, starts with the connection level, then the conversion level, the cyber level, the cognitive level, and the configuration level. And the cognitive level is the one where the human involvement is there. Okay, so we can simply like talk about that this cyber physical system is the major concept of Industry 4.0, and it is the interacting network of physical and computational computer. So it can be understood as the embedded system within the physical world. Or we can say that human, car, house, or any other such objects like washing machines, TVs, etc. They connect to the cyberspace or to the into any computing world and are based on this computation that physical world is activated. So like, but whatever signal are the sensors send or the washing machines send from the physical world, when it is received by the computing algorithms, or we can say in the computing world, they work upon that, they respond back to the physical world, and accordingly the particular object they work. Like we can say the temperature can be set, the door can be opened based upon the sensor information. So throughout this different level of interactions take place between device to device to human, and human to human. So altogether, human interactions in different phases like monitoring, analyzing, planning, and executing is needed. So this 5C design principle can help achieve Industry 4.0 vision, and human involvement is needed at the cognitive level. And we can say that the CPS is at the core, and the cyber system takes in human knowledge for decision making, and indirectly that decision making leads to perception, interaction, and we can say the control. So here, even though we can say that we see that there is no direct involvement of human, but whatever machine or whatever data that this Industry 4.0 is trying to use, so for making some decision or maybe for working on those data, human knowledge is the prerequisite. So how this knowledge has to be fed into these components, or how this knowledge has to be used. So just moving on to the next slide. Again, this identifies the human-machine relationship through different industrial revolution. Like it's not that in only industrial revolution 4.0 talks about the human relationship. The human relationship already existed in every era of industrial revolution. But initially there was a cold existence of this human and machine. Like in the industrial revolution 1 and 2, they used to work on the together, like in the same environment or maybe in the same company, but the task that they worked upon, it was different, it was not the same. So maybe the machines were used typically as a machinery, or maybe they were used by used under human supervision by the human supervisors, but there was no relation that was taken into consideration. So during the third industrial revolution, integrated production system that came into existence, and depending upon the scenario, like human and machine, they shared their cognitive and computational resources while they were not working on the same task. So here the difference from Industry 3.0 to Industry 4.0 came. And Industry 4.0, the human and machine, they shared the same task, they shared workspace, and also they have specific goals targeted towards a single direction. And with more advancements, the teams are being formed with cobots where the decision making and trust issues arise because they are the machines, and they have been trained by human brain, but it's not necessary. They work in collaboration with human being on the floor, but they are not under control of them. So the trust issues and other decision making aspects arises in Industry 4.0 when we advance in this direction, and these has to be dealt with. So now, so as we see that human is the core of the CPS and various interaction takes place with the human. So what should be the modality of interaction? Like these, you can see that here, I mentioned few interaction between human machine. It's not only limited to these, there can be other methods also. So text-based interaction nowadays, like for human to human communication, we are in general using WhatsApp and all those chatbots and all. And speech-based interaction, gesture-based interaction, touch-based interaction, augmented reality and virtual reality, which has been included in Industry 4.0, brain-computer interfacing, multimodal interactions, which may include more than like multiple options out of these, and the social robots. So, out of all these, we can say that multimodal can be the best. But looking into the cost and ease, one may find that text and speech to be the best option because it is one of the natural way of communication. So what is the benefit of voice enabled communication? Like when I say that this text and speech is the most dominating or is the one that should be widely utilized. So why do I say that? So the concept is like, since whenever we, even if like the moment WhatsApp included this voice chat and voice notes into it, most of the people found convenient that whenever they are driving or moving, they try to connect with people through sending the voice notes. So undoubtedly, this voice is the most natural mean of communication, and it increases the productivity and efficiency. So, like we can say that also when we are moving from one place to another, then also we can use this particular system or this particular interface for interaction because it provides you hands-free operation, and undoubtedly it enhances user experience, that is the speaker who is speaking as well as the listener's experience and their satisfaction. The reason being, the voice includes your emotions, the voice includes additional information, not only like maybe the dialect or the locality from which you belong. So all of these have some impact on the communication aspect or on the, we can say, on the relationship that is developed through communicating. Okay, so this way we can say that voice enabled communication is going to be a most prominent one. So now I'll just move on to speech technology. What is this and why this technology needs to be worked upon? Okay. So before moving on to the speech technology, just I've referred to language, and it simply says that language is ubiquitous, that is, it has to be everywhere and it can't be avoided. So what does this language is ubiquitous? Why do I say? Like, we all know that whenever we want to communicate, everywhere, like there should be a language. It may have different grammar and rules and maybe different form. It's not always like it has to be ABCD or Kakha Gaga. Like Braille also is where we use dots for communication. So it can have different forms and different rules, and these languages play important roles. So it also represents the culture and defines several characteristics of its users. So using these languages and advancements in the artificial intelligence, many applications have been developed that make communication easier for us. And so I'll just show you a few applications. I think you can hear what I'm playing. So this is like where someone is typing, and like nowadays everyone knows that chatbots or the machine assistants are replying to your queries. Okay, so this is one application that is predominant now.
तो जब आप हिंदी में बात करेंगे किसी से,
Here you can
तो
see
ये
speech
आपकी
is
बात को रिकॉर्ड
converted.
करता जाएगा और सामने वाले व्यक्ति को इंग्लिश में बताएगा। जैसे कि अभी ये मेरी
converted
आवाज को
language.
यहाँ पर रिकॉर्ड कर रहा है और आप
The
देखेंगे कि नीचे साथ के
translation
साथ उसको इंग्लिश में भी ट्रांसलेट करता जा रहा है। जैसे ही मैं रुकूंगा ये उस पूरे पैराग्राफ को मुझे इंग्लिश में पढ़ के बताएगा।
Now, this is the application of speech synthesis, where the speech is converted, like whatever is being said, it is being converted into text part, and then just move on to the next part.
Excuse me.
Here is speech-to-speech translation.
Can we take a picture with you? Okay.
So this is speech-to-speech translation, like so that it makes people speaking different languages to connect with each other. And
What are the risks of smoking?
last one that you can see, like how information can be retrieved using speech. Okay, so these are few applications nowadays, like in day-to-day life, we are using these applications in one way or the other. Okay, so next we move on to like what is this speech signal? So now how it is generated and what this signal is all about that I'm talking. So speech signal comprises of sequence of sounds and how it is generated. So we can say that like when the air is forced out of the lungs, the acoustical excitation of vocal tract generates the sound of these speech signals. Okay, so the lungs that act as the air supply equipment during speech production. And so when the air is forced out of the lungs, air pressure builds up near our vocal cords. And once the air pressure reaches a certain threshold, the vocal cord, or we can say the vocal folds, they open up and air flows through them that causes the membranes to vibrate. Okay, so when we breathe, the vocal cord is open, it never closes. So there is no vibration. But when we speak, it closes and it opens up, and that causes vibration. So the frequency of vibration of the vocal cord, it depends upon the length of the vocal cords of the person who is speaking and also the tension that is there in the cord. So it is speaker, like speaker characteristics can be obtained due to this vocal cord characteristics of individuals. So now this frequency is like the frequency that is generated, that is called the fundamental frequency, and we can also term it as the pitch frequency, and it defines the pitch of the speaker. So here there is a spectrogram that represents, I will just play that it is a single word, which is Amritsar. Okay, so this is a single word. I'm unable to move my mouse to that particular icon. So here you can see that some part of the spectrogram is very dark, whereas few parts are very light colors. So this particular dark portion, they are the highest energy region, and those dark portions are the vowels that are there in the word. So this particular like energy concentration, you can see based upon this concentration, we can identify what is like this portion is a particular vowel or this portion is not a vowel, and also based upon the pitch and the pitch slope, like the blue line and this yellow line that represents the slope, and these formants where you can say that in the lower portion of the spectrogram there are spaces that is coming like black color, white color. So there are different format frequencies that are being represented. So looking into their values, we can identify from this itself like what that vowel has to be there. So the human ear is more sensitive to the energy signals between 50 hertz to 4 kilohertz, and the fundamental frequency of men, it varies from 50 hertz to 200 hertz, and for women it ranges from 150 hertz to 300 hertz. So undoubtedly we women have a more shrill voice and we can shout louder. So whereas the children, it is in the range of 200 hertz to 400 hertz. So why the range, the frequency range of women and children are more? The reason being the vocal tract in women and children is shorter, so they speak with higher frequency. Moving on to the next slide. So here I have represented a source filter model where this channel that you see here, that is the filter, which we can say it is a vocal tract and it is assumed to be invariant. So whenever a particular speech signal is produced, we just consider this channel or the vocal tract as invariant. That means it has to be static, or it has a particular characteristic that is inborn when the person came into this world. But whenever he speaks, like whenever I will speak, every time you will find that the different parameters of my speech signals are changing. The reason being this signal not only includes this channel characteristic, but also there are some variants, that is linguistic message, whatever I am trying to speak, what type of message it is there anything that consists of some emotional aspect, or maybe I am speaking in anger, so intonations can be there, maybe the speaker characteristics, my age, my gender, the place from where I belong, the dialectal effects, accents, all those are termed as speaker characteristics. The environment characteristics, like what is the media I am using to send the data to, like for communication, maybe I am talking through phone, or what is the, like I am talking in a noisy environment, or maybe in a closed room, or inside a car, or on the roadside. So all these environmental characteristics will also influence the overall speech signal that is being generated from through my vocal tract. So this is the anatomy of speech production. So this is what I have explained at the first slide itself. And here you can see that the speech sound that are produced through the speech signal, like it can be characterized as voiced or unvoiced sounds, that is noisy sounds, or other sounds like the nasal, the plosives, depending upon the area of the vocal tract that is influenced by the air pressure, like how the vocal tract shape changes with the air pressure. So I will not cover more detail of this production system, but to say in short, like I can say that the sound characteristics also influence the speech recognition, the synthesis, etc. And for technology building, this information should also be taken into consideration. Nowadays, with this deep neural network and all, we really take into consideration these speech production mechanism, but to improve the system performance, we need to consider this, because it is one of the important characteristics which will guide in making decisions. What should be the features that should be extracted? Okay, so what are different types of voice enabled human machine interfaces that can be that are possible? So this voice enabled interfaces, they can be created for giving the commands and controls through that we can see is useful in industry setup. Like even if we want the robots to work, then also we need to provide some command to that robot. And like even if we want to make some system intelligent, then also we need to interact with. So through these type of systems, we can interact. Like ELISA is the one that was used in this medical domain initially, and nowadays in news you must have heard of Lisa, news anchor from Orissa, which is artificially intelligent. Like it has been created artificially to read the news. So like the performance, or we can say the output is not too good, but it is satisfactory, and maybe it has to be worked upon more to get the results. So also like interfaces are required for text to voice and voice to text conversion that enables communication between people speaking different languages, as we have seen in this one of the video. And here text serves as the like when I say voice to text and text to voice. Now I haven't written voice to voice. So the reason for not including this voice to voice conversation is like it's not possible in real time. Like in the video, I showed you that it is converting, but in actual practice, but because it was one to one, for a single person, it can be created, or maybe for communication between two, somehow it can be created. But to cater to the large population or large variations, voice to voice conversation in real time is not possible. It has lots of challenges that has to be taken care of. So still people are working in this particular area, but the literature doesn't show any such result in voice to voice applications. Now, so then we move on to the voice assistants. So this voice assistants also have few limitations, and all of you are nowadays using these voice assistants and chatbots. And but there are few limitations because whenever you communicate with this Alexa and maybe through chatbots, you have to follow a particular set of instruction, or maybe the command that you are giving, it has to be of a particular nature. And also the like when we talk with each other, we can go on talking endlessly, which is not possible with these voice assistants or chatbots. But still, the presence of Alexa, Siri, Google Home, it has made our life easier. And maybe with advancements in more technology, we may turn up, or maybe in near future, we will be using a colleague which is a technologically driven person, and maybe throughout the day we will be chatting with that electronic machine itself. Okay. So what are the challenges that is there? Like as I told you, that signal speech to speech is not possible still. But why this is the reason why it is not possible? So why it is not possible? Okay, so my screen is visible. No, screen.
Screen is visible, but you are not visible.
Okay, so shall I continue with my presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, so what are the challenges that is there? The source of signal variability that we talk about, it is the linguistic variability, the speaker variability, and environmental variability. As I showed you a diagram of source filter, and there also I included those variability. So what does this linguistic variability mean? So since I told you that when I speak, like there can be different types of sounds that are generated, and different phonemes have different spectral features, like these features that will be discussed by Mr. Akshat in the coming slides. So there are different features, different spectral characteristics associated with each of the phones. So they create some linguistic variability, and along with that, co-articulation effects also influence it. Like whatever next word we are speaking, sometimes they also put their influence on the features of those words. And the fundamental frequency, duration, and power, they also vary due to stress and also intonation. Like whenever I am talking in anger, or I'm speaking something with force, so the characteristic of those words and my speech characteristic will change. So these are the linguistic variability that can be encountered in the sentences. Now, speaker variability. Speaker variability is that is due to gender. Like as I told you, like females have higher pitch as compared to the male, and that pitch also influences performance. Also due to dialects, like different phoneme sets have difference in prosody. Whatever the way I speak and the way a person who is speaking Hindi but residing in Madhya Pradesh, there will be a difference in the prosody, and that will be due to the dialectal effect. Like the native language, the mother tongue that we use digitally from our childhood. So even if we are speaking the same word, the prosody will be different. And like also there can be, like you must have observed that even though There are people who are residing in Delhi for so long and they are from West Bengal. The words that they will use, sometimes you will find that those words are particular enough, like they are peculiar to identify that even though the languages, like the sounds that is being produced is not reflecting his or her originality or the place from where he or she belongs, but the uses of words during the communication, it will help you in identifying the area to which he or she belongs. And there are also individual differences, that is the level of education, the physical constituents, like the way thin people, like the sound that a thin person speaks is produced, and the same when it is spoken by fat people, that will be different. Also the societal like the society in which they belong to, the way they communicate in the society. So all those influence will be there due to speaker characteristics. And then there is environmental variability, that there is non-speech events, like we can say noise, or maybe there are some hiss sound there, and there are noise from surrounding or noise in channel. So all these, and there are many more variabilities that can be there. So to catering these all these variabilities for any speech technology, it becomes very difficult, because there are different features that can be there included there to handle linguistic variability. There are features that can deal with speaker variability, and also features that can, or maybe cleansing process that can deal with environmental variability. But to combine them together and produce a system that is error free, it is very difficult and challenging. So what are the approaches for creating a speech-based system? So it started with the traditional approach was rule-based approach, which was very simple, and it was based upon some pattern matching concept. And with the advent of technology, now it has moved on to deep learning, where we are using recurrent neural network and convolutional neural network, as well as deep neural network nowadays are also being used in speech research. So these things, like we take samples and create models. So these aspects will be discussed by Mr. Akshay. So this is the signal processing for speech recognition. So here this is a block diagram which simply shows that speech signal is passed on to the network, or maybe to the system, where the features are extracted from these speech signals, and those features depend upon like what features we need to take. It depends upon whether we are working for speaker recognition or speaker based system or speaker independent system, or we are working for speech recognition or emotion recognition or dialect recognition. Based upon that, the features has to be extracted. Now so there are lexicon that discusses, like that has the set of sentences that belongs to the domain for which the speech recognition or speech processing system has to be developed. The language model is there, which is a statistical model that deals with the characteristic of the language for which the signal is being processed. And this is generally used to remove the ambiguity from the, like whenever acoustic model or the recognition system provides some more than one output. So to resolve the ambiguity, this language model can be utilized. There can be the situation, like if I say fisherman went to the bank, a fisherman went to the bank. Now here this bank word, it can be, since the person is a fisherman, so this bank can refer to the bank of a river or a sea. And secondly, this bank can also refer to the traditional banking system, the bank where he has to go for some transactions and all. So under this situation, like if this type of sentence comes, this language model will help to identify the meaning, what to consider with that particular word bank. Okay, and there is a caustic model which is being created again, which represents the distinct sounds that constitute the speech signals for which the system is being trained, and it takes into account like these acoustic models can be syllable based, these acoustic models can be phone based. The smaller the unit you take for creating this acoustic model, the system will be more appropriate and it will give you better result. But again, it is very difficult to process so many units to develop a model. Okay, and undoubtedly, like these all will combine together to produce a recognized word, and this word recognition, like sequence of words that are being recognized, they will produce a particular sentence. So this is all from my side. Now these feature extraction and all will be discussed by Mr. Akshar. I'll just stop sharing my screen, Dr. Khushbu, so that Mr. Akshat can share.
Yes, ma'am. Puneet please give access to Akshat sir. Akshat sir.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I got the rights. Yeah.
Have you opened your camera, sir? Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, thank you very much, Dr. Khushbu Tripathi, and my senior colleague and my senior researcher, Dr. Shweta Tripathi, ma'am. Sorry, Dr. Shweta Sinha, ma'am. And she has given a wonderful lecture about the speech technology, voice-based systems, and also the Industry 4.0 era. So that is very insightful, I guess, for all the participants. And oh, sorry, I think, ma'am, can I start or I should stop?
Yes, sir. Please start and share your screen.
Okay. Sure. So my screen is visible?
Yes. Slides
Okay.
are visible.
Okay. So I think it's very difficult for a person, means after if the person who is very intelligent has given already good presentation, giving the good insights about the systems, about this topic. So it's very difficult for me to proceed ahead with the same kind of knowledge. But yes, I will try to give my best to share some knowledge that I have. So basically that ma'am has discussed about the voice-based human-machine interaction and all these things like now these are the outlines of my lecture, that if I say that like how the speech feature extraction means, what kind of speech features we are having, and also means how to extract the speech features, and what are the speech features and why they are important, because this is also important thing, and also the types of speech features, and also the common techniques and the challenges and limitations, and then future developments. So these are the outlines of my today's lecture. And now if I talk about what is the importance of speech features, right? So there are 4 things that we can do using the if I discuss the importance of a speech feature. So there are 4 things we can do. That one of the things is identification, then speech recognition, then emotion detection, and language learning. Means these are the 4 important things that we can do with these speech features. So what is the identification means? Identification means like speech features can be means if you want to identify the individual's voice, and so for that thing you need to identify the speech features, and also for some forensic purpose also, that if you know that okay, the voice belongs to this person, then you can easily identify the person, like. And the second important feature is speech recognition. Speech recognition means again it's a it's a important thing, and also for the, and it will allow to accurate transcription for that thing. Emotion detection is nowadays you can say it's an important area, and also it is very important because through through that, let's suppose if person is in the problem, like it is specifically belongs to the mental health and all these things. If the person is in depression, if the person is having some different points of different things, then maybe if you identify the emotion of a person from speech, so it is very important for us. And definitely the language learning, so that you can learn the how the pronunciation will be done and how you can do the communication. So through that, if you know this, then again it's a very important feature. Okay, now these are the types of speech features. Like speech features are having a basically three types of speech features are there. One is cepstral coefficient, another one is prosodic features, and third one is vocal tract features. And the most of you, I am thinking that known about the prosodic features, because these are the very basic features like the pitch information, intonation, duration, and rhythm. These are the features that I hope most of you are known to it. Because if I ask you that, okay, somebody is very angry, then maybe everyone says, okay, his pitch is very high. Like in the same things, like, and if you are saying that, okay, that person is very low, he is very sad. So at that time you are saying, okay, his pitch is very low, or he's speaking very slowly, so he might be sad. So the prosodic features are very well-known features for the common person. But the other features like cepstral coefficient, these are the most important features, means most important type of speech features. Through that, you can extract more and more information. Like in cepstral coefficient, like MFCC means male frequency cepstral coefficient, and LPCC. There are a lot of cepstral coefficient features are available for the speech features, so that I will discuss later. So these are the features, and obviously the vocal tract features, that it extract the information and about the shape of vocal tract, and means it is usually used for speech synthesis. So these are the important speech features that you have here. And now the common technique for these are the common technique to sorry. So now there are three types of common technique to extract the features. Like one is short-term Fourier transformation, another one is again cepstral analysis, that is very important, and third one is hidden Markov model. Like in short-term Fourier transformation, I think I am not going to deep into the signal analysis and all these things, because these are the basic lecture of the speech technology. So that is why I am giving you the very brief overview about the things. So but these are the very basic steps that we need to do. So the short-term Fourier transform means it will divide a longer signal into shorter segments and analyze them into the frequency domain. So these are the very basic definition of short-term Fourier transformation. In the same way, like if I talk about cepstral analysis, so it transforms a signal from the frequency domain to cepstral domain, and which enhance the certain features. Because when we are talking about cepstral analysis, so it is more and more closer to your throat and this kind of vocal tract, and means, so it is more and more closer to the you can say the natural structure of the human voice, or natural structure of the human vocal tract. So these are the features that is very important. And then the third one is hidden Markov model, that is use probability model to recognize pattern in speech and extract the features. So these are basically three methods, or you can say these are the three traditional methods that we used to have for extracting the features and all. Like and now like if I talk about the like speech model and all these things, so basically we have to use right. Okay, so there are three voice assistance features that we are using nowadays. So can I just request to the participants, if you just name the three most famous voice assistant features that you are using nowadays. I will just wait from the participants to message me that, okay, what are the 3 voice assistant features or applications that you are using nowadays? Okay, one is Google Assistance. Okay, who is DK? Okay, another one is there is another Alexa and Siri. Okay. So, okay, good. So yes, so these are the basically 3 most important, you can say the more applications you are using, that we are talking about, that why this speech is important, why this speech features are important, why you should know about the things, because that right now we are shifting from texting to our machine to the giving, like we want to give the instruction to a machine via speech, and these are, you can say, the easier method to interact with the machine also. And like the 2 participants has already told me that one is Google Assistance and another one is Alexa and Siri. Basically Alexa, I think most of you are having Alexa at your home and you used to give the instruction to the Alexa, and the Alexa used to do the things. So I just wanted to know from the participants that what kind of instruction you want to you are giving for these kind of 3 basic applications. What means what kind of most, you can say, the mostly you are giving the instruction to these kind of 3 applications. I want to hear from the participants, not from the moderator, so that at least I should know that I am not speaking, I am not talking with a screen. I should know that, okay, I am talking with the living human beings. Okay.
Participants, you are requested to answer the query, please, here in chat box or through unmute process.
Okay, first of all, I just wanted to know how many of you are having Alexa at your home. Just say yes or no in the chat box. Okay, Garima, okay, 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 okay. So Dr. Khushbu Tripathi and Dr. Shrita Sinha is having a Alexa. Okay. Manoj Pandey sir is not having a Alexa. Okay. Google devices. Okay. So I just wanted to know that what kind of means very frequent instruction you use to give your these kind of devices. I request all the participants, please participate, not only the moderator and other speakers.
I think they are listening you patiently.
Okay.
So Miss Garima is saying to play something on YouTube.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So mostly you are using, okay, change color of bulb. Okay, great. Storytelling of kids. Okay, good. Okay, so means mostly you are using this particular device. Okay, how's the day? Okay, great. So a machine is going to tell you that how's the day. Great. And I hope in return machine is going to ask you how is the Josh. Okay. So I think most of you are giving instruction. Okay, so most of you are giving instruction to the machine that what is the means you are giving the speech instruction to mostly that, okay, listen this song or playing some video, like Dr. Shweta Tripathi has instructed to the machine that, okay, just play some story for the kids. And there are some other participants who are giving instruction to playing a song for a particular thing. So it's good, means like if you are giving this kind of instructions, but I think most of you are giving instruction from playing a song and all these things. So it means you want to hear something. So like in the same way, if I talk about that, what is the anatomy of Alexa speech model, not from Alexa, means yes, I have taken particularly from Alexa, but yes, it somehow it is related with other voice application devices also. Like at the core of Alexa's speech recognition technology is a complex neural network. I hope maybe most of you are known about the neural network, and neural network that processes the and interpret your voice command. And let's take a closer look at how this model works. Okay, so means basically neural network is belongs to the neural basically the neurons, like we are having a neurons in our mind. So like in the same way that Alexa and all these devices is also having a kind of a processing elements, and then they are connecting to each other. So basically there are three kinds of speech models that Alexa is going to use. Like one is acoustic model, another one is language model, and third one is pronunciation model. Okay, so if you want to interact with the like acoustic model, means the acoustic model interprets sounds from your voice and convert them into the text. So basically it is going to, it's kind of a first, it is a kind of a conversion from your voice, means Alexa is going to take instruction as a voice and then it will convert into the text. And then language model, the language model takes the text from the acoustic model and predicts the next likely words. And the pronunciation model ensures that Alexa knows how to pronounce each word correctly. So can anyone tell me that, okay, if you want to interact with the Alexa, then what is the first word you need to use if you want to interact with the Alexa? Okay, yes. Okay. Alexa itself. Okay, Alexa. Right. And what about Siri and Google Assistants? If you want to interact with them, if you have an idea, it's okay. If not, then it's also fine. Okay. Hey Siri, hey Google. Okay, great. It means these models are very, you can say, very intelligent, because they want them to first at least introduce themselves and then you can speak with them. So as you know that there are three speech models are there. One is acoustic, another one is language, and third one is pronunciation model. So phase wise, it is going to pass through all these models, and then it will, and then your instruction is going to be executed. Okay. Don't know my, yeah. So now these are the application of speech feature extraction that I already discussed about them, that, okay, this is a speech recognition, the language learning I already discussed, emotion detection in chat box, and the fourth one is speaker identification that I already discussed. And now this is the speech processing, signal processing for speech recognition. This particular model is already discussed by my senior colleague, Dr. Shweta Sinha, but because it is important here also, that is why I am using the same slide here also, because here you can see that first that speech is going for a feature extraction, and after feature extraction it will, you can say, the extract the features like MFCC, LPC, and these are the different substral coefficient that you need to extract from the features. And and then again, like the language model, like we had discussed in my previous slide also, the same thing for the pattern classification. We need to use the acoustic model, we need to use the language model, and the lexicon also. So like the language model, like it's an n-gram model that used for ambiguity removal during recognition. And the acoustic model is the statistical representation of distinct sound and are based on some word means these are the basic part of the new natural language processing, and through that your text, your voice is converting into text, and the text is recognized easily by your device, so that you can your machine can do the task whatever you want. So the most common general public you all know, so that you all know about it. You all the participants are very intelligent, so you all already have given me these answers, and now these are the things you can say that means what kind of key components of the model. Like these are the spectrogram and the phonemes and the deep learning model. So basically, I am just going to little bit deep into the model building and all these things. Like spectrogram is spectrogram. I think that is being discussed by Dr. Shweta Sinha already. That it is going to use for visualize the frequency and amplitude of sound waves and helping the model recognize different words, right? So I think you all can see this particular more and more dark shade part, more colorful part you can see here, and now here you can see almost blank part is here, and then again you can see the most colorful part are here. So these particular part is here, so that you can see that the most of the amplitude waves are here, and then so that you can identify and you can make a spectrogram for that. And after making the spectrogram, the model is going to identify that okay, these particular things belong, or a particular sound belongs to these particular area. So, and yes, after that, the phonemes that we are using, these are the smallest unit of sound in a language, which the model uses to recognize the words, right? Because everything, if you want to recognized by the machine and even the person, like if I speak like this, okay, so maybe you can't understand anything, because maybe if I start speaking in Chinese, or if I speak China, if I start speaking in Japanese or in Spanish, if you know the words, then only you can identify, okay, I am speaking in Chinese. If you don't know the words, if so, you cannot identify that okay, I am talking about the that in what language I am speaking. So for that, the phonemes is also very important part for recognizing the words and all. So that is why these are the phonemes. And the nowadays, because the deep learning models, the complete revolutionary idea behind all these kind of industry 4.0, that okay, machine learning, artificial intelligence and deep learning, so all these things are already here, that you can see that okay, deep learning models, like I don't want to go that okay, what kind of deep learning models are there, supervised, unsupervised, convolution, recurrent neural network, and there are so many models are there. But yes, all these models are going to used to identify particular thing, right? Like if you, like most of the time, I am assuming that most of the time you start giving the instruction of all these kind of devices like your Alexa, Siri and Google Assistants, and they are doing the right things. Am I right or wrong? If you are giving the instruction to these kind of machines, and I hope these machines are getting the right instruction, how means what kind of percentage that you have when you are interacting with these machines, and that machines are machine are accepting your instruction and they are performing the right task that you have assigned them. So can participants can share their experience, that what is the percentage that your machine are accepting the right means correct percentage of your instruction? Yes. Okay. Yes. So what kind of percentage that you are having means I have just asked the participants that what kind of percentage you are having, or successful attempt that you are having, that if you want to interact with the machine and machine is giving you the correct task. Like if you have assigned some task and your machine, your Alexa, Siri, and Google Assistants is performing the same task that you have assigned them. So what kind of percentage, like out of 10 instruction, how many instruction they are? Okay, 90%. Okay, good amount, 90%. 7 out of 10, 70%. Okay. Okay, 70% is the accuracy according to okay, Manoj Pandey sir, nearly 95%. Okay, nearly 95% accuracy he achieved. Okay. What about other users? Okay. Either other users are not having 80%. Okay. Ms. Garima is saying 80%. Okay, great. Okay, 8 out of 10. Okay, great. Means almost you are having a 80% or 80%, like, but the okay, one participant is having a nearly 95% accuracy. So maybe you are very intelligently interacting with the machine. That is why you are getting 95% accuracy. But yes, this is a general idea, or you can say the general research has been happened by for these kind of voice assistance applications at around 60 to means it will vary between 60 to 70%, that okay, these machines are getting instruction correctly. And okay, one is saying 73%. Okay, very accurate. Very okay, Pradeep Kumar sir, I think he is having a very accurate assumption that 73%. So this number is very interesting. Otherwise, usually people are saying 80, 90, 70. Okay. Okay, great. Okay. So okay. So means like, so why I have asked you this question, because this particular answer is going to decide that okay, what kind of, means how our model is there, means how much our model is successful to identify the instruction via speech. So that is why I have that is why I'm discussing about that. Okay, these kind of deep learning models that we are using here is very important for us. Okay, and also that not for this models, we are using very different and very advanced models nowadays we are using to identify the machines and all, so that it can identify the things. Okay, now the training and tuning the speech model. Like I think one participant has asked me about the some data sets. So yes, sir, the data sets, the like if you want to, like in deep learning models, so first you need to collect the data. Like if you want to give the instruction to Alexa, then first Alexa must know that who is going to speak with him. So that is a kind of a data collection, but yes, it's voice assistant devices collect vast amount of voice recordings and transcription from the users to improve the accuracy of a speech model. Because if the data collection is a very important task, because if you don't have a data, then you can't make a good model. And yes, for the model building, the collected data is used to create and improve the speech recognition model, and allowing Alexa to recognize the new words and accents also, because sometimes your accent is different, sometimes your accent is different. Like in the beginning of my presentation, I already told you that okay, there are some speech emotion recognition is also done by this speech technology. So the same way that your accent is also very important. So like that, and like the validation, yes, the validation is always very important. Like this model is validated against real world scenario to ensure it is working accurately and efficiently. And yes, it is already you can say the tested. That is why it is used for general public. So basically these are the training and tuning the speech model. And yes, what are the challenges and limitations of speech recognition? Like while speech recognition technology has come a long way, and there is still some challenges and limitations that we used to face every day. like the background noise, that noisy environment can interfere with the accuracy of a speech recognition technology. Okay. And the accent and dialects also, that accent and dialects can sometimes be difficult for the speech recognition model to understand. Like the Alexa is like used by the Dr. Khushbu Tripathi, or the Alexa is used by the Dr. Shweta Sinha, or I think other participants is Madam Garima. So I think that Alexa has a habit to listen her voice. And if the person who doesn't know, or maybe the person who is coming from US, and then if he starts to interact with the Alexa, his accent may be different. And when he will start discussing and talking with the Alexa, that maybe it is having some different issue. And the third challenges is misinterpretation. The model may not always be able to understand the context or intention behind certain words or phrases. So this is also one problem with that we need to deal with the things. So there are some problems and limitations also with that. So yes. So now, if we talk about the future of speech recognition technology, then definitely every time that we need to talk about the improved accuracy, that new natural language processing techniques are improving the accuracy of speech recognition, even in the noisy environments, because these kind of devices we need to use so that we can improve the accuracy of the device, that okay, that device can learn and hear and then give the good instruction and then take the good instructions. The greater personalization, definitely it is always very important for us, that okay, my device will listen only me, not the others. And expanded capabilities like speech recognition technology, improved voice assistant will be able to perform the more complex tasks, from navigating complex systems to providing personalized healthcare assistance. It is very important application, even you can say, for the healthcare. In the healthcare industry, this voice, this speech recognition technology, or this emotion recognition technology is, I think, is a revolutionary idea in the healthcare sector, so that if a person can speak and doctor can understand, okay, how much pain he is having. So definitely it's a good idea about that. So these are the basic idea behind that. And now I think time is also running. And yes, these are the small talk I need to present in front of you. So thank you very much, Dr. Khushbu.
Thank you so much, sir,
giving me
for
this
your
opportunity.
insightful talk. Thank you, Dr. Shweta, for your valuable speech which you have shared with all the participants on a very important topic. So I request all the participants, if they have any question, please unmute yourself and ask the question. Or you can write here in the chat box. In the meantime, I would like to ask one question, ma'am and sir.
Ma'am, you are not allowed to ask any question. You are the organizer. This FDP is conducted for the participants. So I request all the participants can ask me the question.
So this is the question from one of the participants which I have received. So I am just asking behalf of them.
Okay.
So do we have systems of speech recognition that can understand speech of people speaking same language from different regions?
I can't hear your question. Can you repeat?
Yeah, my question is, do we have systems of speech recognition that can understand speech of people speaking same language from different regions? Maybe Dr. Shweta can give the question.
Akshasa, shall I answer?
Yes. Please.
Okay, so at present, Dr. Khushbu, there is no such system which can cover the dialectal aspect. What you are talking about, it is accent and dialect related aspect that comes along with the location and all. So there is no such system, but we can include one additional module to any speech recognition system, and that will be a dialect classification or dialect identification or maybe accent identification. So once it has been identified, and then based upon that, the caustic model can be utilized to convert the, like, identify the speech that has been spoken. But at present, there is no such.
Thank you so much sharing your views on my question, ma'am. But I think there is the need of the research from where we have to start and think in this area. Am I right?
And especially for Indian languages, there is dearth of such, like, these type of tools. You will rarely find any speech recognition system or any system in the area of speech in Hindi language or most of the North Indian languages. It's very rare. Or I think it's not anyone in the public domain is not there.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, letting us know. So here is one question from Sarita Gulia. Why do we use text as intermediate level for speech-to-speech conversion? May I repeat the question, ma'am? Yeah, this is for Dr. Shweta, ma'am, only.
Okay, I'll just answer it because like I have discussed text to speech and speech to text. And that time also I never discussed the speech to speech conversion. The reason is like the resources, like whenever we are talking about communication or conversion, we need the response in real time. And so if we want this speech to be from one language to be converted into speech of other language, one-to-one communication, for that the system can work. And then also it will be rare to work in a real time. But for a generalized speaker, like a system which can convert my speech or Dr. Khushbu's speech or Mr. Akshat's speech and to other language, it's very difficult to be developed for real-time scenario because it requires a huge amount of data that can cover all the variability that I had discussed during my presentation. That is the environmental variability, the linguistic variability, the speaker variability, and there are many more. So, and that has to be taken care of and then converted into the other language, the other side of the like the language or the listener that uses the language. So it's very difficult to create such system that can work in real-time scenario. Okay, that is why we go from speech to text and then text to speech. That is speech recognition and then speech synthesis, and merge them together to develop a speech to speech.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I hope Sarita ma'am has got the answer and gained the knowledge. So here is one more question, ma'am. I would like to take up Akshat sir from you also. Is there any way to change keyword, hey Google, hey Sri, etc., to initiate communication through any kind of code or something else? Any one of you can answer the query. My question is from the Manoj Pandey sir. He is saying, is there any way to change keyword, hey Google, hey Sri, etc., to initiate communication through any kind of code or something else?
Sure, I will convey this message to I think the Mr. Sundar Pichai and Mr. Tim Cook, so that they will change the system, and then the Manoj Pandey sir will get his answer. So I will definitely try to convey his query to them. So, so maybe he will get his answer.
So at present, like these particular systems, they trigger based upon these keywords, and they have been trained like this. So there is no other alternative.
Right. The person has full right who has developed it. We cannot change it.
Yes, yes.
So I have a question from Akshat sir.
Yes,
like sir has demonstrated, there are 3 types of model: pronunciation, language, and acoustic. So I'm not very much into, deep in this area. But what do you say, sir, about, the problems which we are facing sometime if we are giving the instructions and commands to the, our system, let's say Alexa or Google. And let's say I'm saying I'm going to meet Shannon, but it is, giving response, I'm going to meet Hannon instead of Shannon. So most of the time, like such errors happen, and because of that, we are not getting the exact thing what we expect. So how one can, get rid from this challenge, or how one can work for this research area, or how it will be very useful for the person who are going to use it. So kindly give your views or suggest something related to this problem, which I am facing. Most of the person, I think, facing those who are using AI. So please suggest something why this is happening and how it will be, little get removed from such type of problem from the human beings and machines.
Yes, yes. I guess I think that you all have given me the answer of this question also. Because when I ask you that, okay, what is the successful percentage that you can give that you are giving the instruction to the machine and machine is performing the same task. So most of you are saying that 70%, 80%, 85%, but the general idea is around 60 to, means it will vary between 60 to 80%. The main problem is this, that I already discussed that, okay, acoustic and phonemes and then deep learning models. So like acoustic model means when I speak something and like if my pronunciation, because machine is having his own limitations. Like if somebody is coming from US or UK or maybe some different country, and if he start even if he start speaking in English or in Hindi also, then our ears cannot easily identify that, okay, what that person want to speak or what that person and what that particular person can do, means wants to say to you. Just because of that thing, the major problem is the pronunciation, because his dialect and his pronunciation is different. Maybe as a human being we can understand, but as a machine is very particular about the pronunciation and because the machine has to identify the speech, and then it has been converted into the like a spectrogram. I already shown one diagram, and then it has to be converted into the phonemes, and then you need to have all the phonemes, and then you need to identify the particular words by word, because machine is going to identify word by word. And after identifying these words by words, then again it is going to submitting this particular thing into the deep neural network models, and then machine is going to be trained. So I am not blaming about the models, because it's okay, it's fine also that all the models are also having some kind of limitations, but I'm not blaming on the models, but I'm blaming about the data set, or what kind of means the way of instruction that we are giving to the machine. Like you are saying Hanan and Shannon, right? So these kind of problems that we used to face, like when you are giving the instruction to your Alexa, Siri or assistants, and if they can't understand your pronunciation, the major problem with these three particular voice assistant model is like that. There are so many other things also, so some other applications also that we are using here. But yes, that if you are using this particular machines, and if your instruction is not taking care about from the machine, like your pronunciation is not very much clear, or your pronunciation is clear but is not, just because of the the noise and then the background voices are there. If your machine is not identifying, then definitely your machine is not going to give you correct results. That is why the result is that 80% or 60%, 70% accuracy you are achieving, and these 30%. But now this is the area that we need to research, that okay, how to reduce the background noise and all. But yes, there are some physical limitations also there, so we cannot go beyond that. So these are the problems.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much giving your elaborative answer.
Thank you.
And rightly said, there is a need to do the research with the hardware and software implementations, along with the algorithms which we are using nowadays for such intelligent systems. So of course, it is required to work in this area. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tripathi ma'am, for inviting me as a guest lecturer. And thank you so much for the event and all. And Dr.
It was a wonderful session, sir, with you and Dr. Shweta ma'am. You made the session interactive. I hope all the participants have enjoyed a lot, and they have at least learned something new from the slides and from your words, which you have shared with all of us. With these words, I am really thankful to you and ma'am from all the FDP team members and MP University.
Thank you, Dr. Khushbu.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, Akshat sir.
And thank you, Shweta ma'am, also, because
being my
she is the
partner.
one, she is the one who initiated all these things and who inspired me also that, okay, I can also give this lecture. So thank you, Shweta Sinha ma'am, for giving me this
You're welcome,
opportunity.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now the feedback link has been shared. Kindly fill.
So I would like to thank once again all the participants who have joined today and had the patience and listen all the speakers patiently. So I would like to just share here that the feedback link is already shared in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback link, which is mandatory for everyday session. Tomorrow we will start again at 10:30. So tomorrow sessions are also very interesting. I would like to request all the participants to be on time and join the session. Thank you very much.